Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Malia Augustin. I serve as the chair of the Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board, number 36, and I'm calling this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, April 21st. It is 7 p.m., and we're meeting in person at the Nānākuli Public Library and virtually via WebEx. A neighborhood board meeting is a monthly open forum between government representatives, elected officials, and members of the community. Members of the public have the right to submit testimony on any and all agenda items. We have a full agenda tonight, so to keep our items moving, I will go over some rules of speaking. Rules of speaking. If anyone wishes to speak, I will ask that in-person attendees line up at the microphone. Those joining us on WebEx, please raise your virtual hand. When recognized by the chair, state your name clearly for the minutes. Comments must be kept under 2 minutes, official monthly reports under 3 minutes, and presenters under 10 minutes. Sergeant at Arms will be keeping time, so please end your comments when the timer goes off. I will also ask that you conclude your comments. If you speak out of turn or with misconduct, you will be removed from the meeting. I would like to remind everyone that this is a community forum, so we welcome all comments, concerns, questions, and even opinions. To be free to share your mana'o on our agenda items, and remember to treat others with respect and engage in the spirit of aloha. I'd like to open us up with Pule. If our board member, Charla Weaver, can open us up with our Pule. Mahalo.
Oh Lord, we thank you, we honor you, we ask that you would give us wisdom, that you would strengthen our community, Lord, and that you would just guide us. And we ask that this would be a productive meeting, that we would listen with the intent to understand, and that we would meet each other where we're at, Lord. No judgments, but we're just here to grow as a very strong community and a kako, not just a mako. We love you, Lord. We lift you up. It is in your name we pray, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Mahalo. So, this evening we have Anson joining us from the Neighborhood Commission Office. He's going to be taking our roll call. Thank you.
When I call our name, please say or respond, please. Io? Augustin? Sorry. Tector?
Here.
Cowles?
Here.
De La Cruz?
Present.
Myers? And Weaver.
Here.
Okay, you're all good.
Thank you. First on our agenda, we have Honolulu Fire Department present in person. Please approach the mic.
Hi, good evening. Kevin Callion, Nānākuli Fire Station. The stats provided below represent confirmed number of incidents in the neighborhood board's geographical area for the previous month. For more details on the incidents related and mapping information, please visit the Fire Response Search Tool on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the News and Info tab. So if you have any questions, please email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. Here are some stats from March of 2026. For fires, there were 3 nuisance fires, 5 activated alarms, no fires. 121 medicals, 0 motor vehicle collisions with pedestrians, 1 motor vehicle crash collision, 1 mountain rescue, 2 ocean rescues, and 3 hazardous materials incidents. The fire tip for this month is evacuation planning. Ensure you have an emergency preparedness plan in place for situations like environmental emergencies, fires, or natural disasters. Familiarize yourself with at least 2 escape routes from your home and plan an evacuation path you must leave for your neighborhood due to emergency. For more information, visit fire.honolulu.gov. Just a few more tips. Leave early to avoid getting trapped by fire, smoke, or traffic delays. Have a predetermined meeting place like a trusted neighbor or relative's home, a low-risk area, a shelter, or an evacuation center. Stay informed. Sign up for notifications at hnlalert.gov, official social media, and other vetted sources. Also, bring your go bag with essential items for your family and pets. This is a subset of all hazards 14-day disaster supply kit. For more information and printable checklists, visit honolulu.gov/DEM/build-a-kit. That's all we have.
Mahalo for the report. Any questions from the community for HFD? Please approach the mic, state your name.
Aloha, Kalai Saucero. How many 911 phone calls you both got since the flood? 911 phone calls since the flooding. Do you have a record? How many phone calls you both had from the community since the flooding?
I don't have that stat with me at the moment, but I can get the information for you and report back.
Please do, because it's very important to know how much calls came from our community, and I'm pretty sure there was a lot. Mahalo.
Aloha Fire Department, Pikachu, Shelby Burnett. I want to thank you guys because we talked to Bravo 6 when Pa'ake and Ilili went down, and the fire department helped us. DFM couldn't, the waste management could after we left the Nānākuli board meeting, but the fire department was the only people to say back to me, hey, Pikachu, we're coming, but where do we pump the water? I do have a solution for you now in Bravo 6, is that you call the Army Corps of Engineers, because Donald Trump has a lot of money for war, so should be okay to just make a hole in the fence like we did the first storm and just drain a hole. Just get the Army to sign off on it. We think we should be okay to work on a solution. So thank you very much to Bravo 6, because I also called them for Waimanalo Health Manti Blanche. So shout out to the fire department. Aloha.
Thank you. Any further questions from the community for HFD? Seeing none. Any questions from the board? Seeing none. Thank you so much for your report. We appreciate your service. Have a great evening. Next on our agenda, we have Honolulu Police Department joining us online.
Hi, good evening, Corporal Corey Makino, District 8 Community Policing. Online with me is also Sergeant Fumi Moroka from the Kapolei Community Policing Team as well. Statistics for the month of March. Motor vehicle thefts for the district, we had a total of 26. Nānākuli area, we had 4. Burglaries for the district was 15. In the Nānākuli-Māʻili area was 5. Thefts for the district was 112. And in our area was 18. Unauthorized entry into motor vehicle in our district, we had 28 and 4 in the area. Traffic statistics, speeding was a total of 12 citations. Moving violations was 157. Parking violations was 25. Total citations issued was 474. Total calls for the total calls of service for the district was 8,473. And in the Nānākuli-Māʻili area, we had 1,422. And open to any questions, comments, or concerns.
Thank you. Any questions from the community for HPD? Seeing none. Any questions from the board for HPD? Okay. No questions at this time. Thank you so much for your report. We appreciate your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have Honolulu Ocean Safety Department, Kelly Croney, present in person. Thank you.
Thank you, board, for having us here again. For the month of March, we had a total of 33 911 calls. In the beginning of the month after the rainstorm, we had that 5-person rescue at Nānākuli Beach Park. Thank goodness everybody was rescued and saved. It was a wet March, as everybody knows. We had all the rivers opened up, flooding everywhere. We did have some overdue swimmers that were found at Kai Point. They were just swimming in the dirty water for some reason. We did have a couple. We had a major multi-vehicle accident at Miley Beach Park, the guards responded to. Macaw Beach Park, apparent 1040, which is a code word for shark. Electric Beach, again, we had several shark sightings. Also, there was a dead whale that drifted on the rocks down past Kai Point, and finally, the thing just disintegrated, fell apart. We couldn't pull it off, drag it out because of the south winds, and it would just, the rope wouldn't even wrap around it. And I don't want the guys to, it would just come apart. It would just be like noodles crushing up. Couple monk seal sightings at Kai Point. Yokohama's was closed, and the road at Keao's Beach Park was closed, and they're repairing it. And there was a fishing buoy, if you guys saw it, I got it back to the proper people, dragged it back, and it's going back to University of Hawaii FAD program. And we did get, I mentioned in the last meeting, our watchtower system. It's like an iPad. Our lieutenants and mobile responders and rescue skis have it now. So data's getting entered. IT has to fix my computer so I can access the data. And hopefully I'm hoping June, May, that all the towers will have the watchtower. It's instantaneous messaging. All the first aid reports, everything goes into a straight database, and I should be able to access it.
Thank you so much for the update. Any questions for ocean safety from the community?
Oh, one last thing. Next meeting, I will get you the information on our junior guard program, which will be starting, I believe, June.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. We can go ahead and advertise that out for summer programs for the kids to get engaged. Thank you.
Great.
Any questions from the board? Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. I want to be really careful how I ask this question because I don't want you to get the wrong perception. But I saw the news report about those lifeguards at, I believe it was Ala Moana Beach.
Yeah.
For the drinking. I don't want to assume that they're already off the clock because I'm assuming, I want to look at it in the true light of what it was and not from what the media is saying. Because from what I understand was that the mayor told them to, I guess,
Close the beach.
the Konalo.
Yeah.
Right? So we're not supposed to have swimmers. So I guess I thought it was more from observation. So was it already Kanikapila time and they were actually off the clock but they're just still at their job? That's what I'm
I'm
asking.
not sure. I believe the mayor closed the beach, and I don't know. They were still on the clock, as far as I know. And then that's about as much as I know. It's a total different district than us, and the few that did it doesn't represent the whole massive ocean safety in our mission statement.
So are you guys gonna do a check along the Waianae coast to make sure that everyone knows they're not supposed to be drinking on the job, etc.?
So everybody signs off on it is a alcohol and drug program, and it goes through HGA union and everything. Every employee has to sign off on this program, and it's pretty strict. So everybody submits to random tests throughout the year.
Okay. And then do you guys have a policy once they clock out, right, sunset,
Yeah.
that they gotta leave the beach or can they?
Take your uniform off and 10-7 on a radio that you're off duty.
Okay.
And, yeah, take your uniform off.
Okay, just wanted to be fair about
Yeah.
it and not just listen to the news report and make quick assumptions that they were guilty as alleged.
Yeah, there was
Yeah,
a
and
lot
have their
of-
due process. So
there's
you
a
guys
lot
are
of media on it.
investigating right now?
It's a total different investigation, and it goes above me. It goes way above me.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from the board? Board Member Dela Cruz.
Aloha. I had a question in regards to the earthquake from Japan. A notice went out to the public. I know your ocean safety with tsunami. I was wondering if you have any connection to it.
Can you speak in the mic, please? Thank you.
Sorry.
Also, whenever there's a tsunami alert, watch anything, we automatically will get texts. And with our last earthquake, I didn't get anything from our dispatch. So they're in contact with the Pacific Tsunami Center right there. So the information gets relayed. They give us like the minute they know something's gonna happen, they let us know right away, and then we'll get it out to the troops
That's
and the
why I was
public.
following up, because there was no follow-up in regards to the notice to the public and the Japan's quake,
Yeah, it was
yes, on tsunami watch.
It
but
was
nothing
the-
afterwards.
the earthquake the other day, right? Yeah, I didn't get anything. Oh, we didn't even know about it.
What do you recommend the community do when that happens?
Every time we've had a tsunami, we get it right away, and they put it on the website. If we know for sure, they'll start, like, we'll get the information out to everybody, via news, radio, everything.
So this time that they only warned us, but no follow-up.
Yeah, we
just
didn't,
Call it
I didn't even get a text on my phone, which is the first time ever in my career.
Could you look into it?
Yeah,
please? It's
I'll look into
safety
it.
for us. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Any further questions from the board? Seeing none. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
We
you. See you
appreciate
next month.
Okay, next on our agenda, we have filling of board vacancies, 2 at-large vacancies. And so at this time, we'll open nominations up to the board. Board Member Cowles,
I'd like to nominate Mark Wong.
Mark Kong,
Call.
okay.
Sorry.
Board Member Myers,
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to nominate Carla Masaniai.
okay. So we have a nomination for Mark Kong and Carla Masaniai. And Board Member Tector,
I'd like to nominate Sky Koleolani.
okay. Another nomination for Sky. Sorry, what is the name, last name? Kolealani. Okay, so, okay. Oh, Razan Olds. Okay. So we have 3 nominations. Is there any other nominations for the 2 vacancies? Any members of the community present would like to volunteer? You're welcome to do so at this time as well. Okay, speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, okay. So at this time, the 3 nominations for vacancy will have the opportunity to come to the mic and have 1 minute to share who you are and why you would like to be a part of our board. Thank you.
James, I'm sorry. James said Wong. I'm not Wong, I Kong. But I was here before for a little while, yeah? So I'm a homesteader and everything that we do. So when I'm here, trying to talk to the community, yeah? Some say, oh, you go to the meeting like nothing is being done. I say, if you don't go, nothing will be done. But they hear the voice, yeah? That's the main thing. So family and friends said, had to think about this coming back. But, everything's happening now. Everything's going down and, we just have to give him the glory. Thank you.
Thank you. Would the other 2 nominees please approach the mic and be ready to speak? Thank you.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board. My name is Carla Masaniai, and I'm honored to be nominated to fill this vacancy. I've been a resident at Nānākuli for about 13 years, and I'm deeply rooted in this community. I currently work here in the 96792 area. I serve homeless families and individuals. I work at the shelter of Lualuale, which gives me direct and daily insight with challenges, within the community regarding homeless that we face, especially housing instabilities. I'm also a parent of 7 children. 5 of them have attended Nānākuli-Māʻili Elementary School and Nānākuli High and Intermediate School. One of my kids is already an alumni, and another will be graduating this year as the class of 2026. In addition, I serve as the chair on the School Community Council up at Nānākuli High and Intermediate, where I advocate for transparency, accountability, and strong community voice in decision-making. So with my children, and now I got a mo'opuna along the way, continuing to grow up in this community, I'm fully invested in Nānākuli-Māʻili's future. So I'm committed to showing up, listening, working collaboratively to support our community. Mahalo for your time and consideration.
Mahalo. Okay.
Right. Aloha. Hi, I'm Sky Koleilani Razan Olds. I am new to the area. I've lived in Māʻili for about 2 years now. We just purchased our first home. I have children that attend Kawaihona. For me, I just hope to bring some additional help. I want to make sure that my kids want to stay here. I want this to be my lifelong home. I work within the nonprofit space, disaster management, grant writing, program development, policy making, and then I also sit on DOFA councils. So I have some experience with Robert's rules and traditionally how councils are run. And I just hope I can bring that to you guys, make sure your voice is heard and your voice is heard, and our children feel safe and comfortable and educated here. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So the way that our voting process is going to work for our board members, we will be voting twice. So the first roster is going to be for who you would like to be nominated first. So pick your first choice, and then we're going to vote one more time to fill the second vacancy. We will need majority count in order for our vote to initiate and fill the vacancy. Thank you.
Okay. When I call your name, please say Kong, Rizonald, or Carla. Okay. Isle? Carla? Augustin? Tector? Oh, say Kong, Rizonald, or Carla. Rizonald, sorry.
Razan Olds.
Okay. One second. Cowles?
Wrong.
Okay. De La Cruz?
Call.
Okay. Myers? Okay. Weaver?
Carla Masaniai.
And Tectone.
Razan Olds.
Well, that's 2 for Kong, 2 for Rizonald, and 3 for Carla. Yeah, I voted. He picked Masani I, so we have to do it again.
So can you take 2 at a time? Okay. So because we are at a stalemate, we're gonna take the top 2 for your vote right now. And then that'll reduce us to have 2 to majority. Okay, so please say your top two. Mahalo.
Io. Wait, Carlos and Sky. Rosano. Okay, sorry. What's his name? Rosani and Kong. Okay. Okay. Augustine. Oh wait, that's Tector. Sorry. Your top two.
Kong and Rosano Olds.
Cowles.
Kong and Rosano.
Okay. De La Cruz.
Kong and Rosano.
Okay. Myers.
Masaniai and Mark Kong.
Okay. Weaver.
Masani I and Mr. Kong.
Okay. Kong has 5. Carl Masani I has 2. Oh wait, forgot about you. Augustine. Sorry.
Let's see who here. Razan Olds and Kong. Okay. Okay.
Okay, that Rosano's has 5, Carlos has 3, and Kong has 6. Yep. So Rosano's and Kong.
Okay. Congratulations to the new board members, Mark Kong and Sky Razan Olds. If you can please come to the mic, we're going to go ahead and do your oath of office. And then after you do your oath, you're welcome to have a seat at our table. And thank you so much, Carla, for stepping up and wanting to fill the seat. We appreciate you so much.
Okay. Just repeat after me. I solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will faithfully support the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America,
faithfully support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and the laws of the state of Hawaii,
the Constitution that belongs to the state of Hawaii,
the Charter and the laws of the city and county of Honolulu,
Honolulu,
and the provision of the neighborhood plan,
provision of the neighborhood plan,
and will conscientiously and impartially discharge my duties.
justly and something,
Impartially, sorry.
actually do my duties
To the best ability as a member,
to my best ability as a member
the
of
neighborhood board to which I have been elected or appointed.
the neighborhood board as elected.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mahalo Nui. Welcome to our board. Come have a seat at our table. There's one here, there's an opening here, and one on the end over there.
Over there, one over here, whichever one.
No, can I see the final vote? Yeah. So our vote record is available to the public if anyone would like to view. Okay. And so at this time, we'd like to honor our board members who were previously serving with us. And it's bittersweet. We're so happy for them for their next ventures, but also so sad that they're going to be leaving our board. And so at this time, I'd like to call up former board member Valerie May Manoa and former board member Kaui Asinsin. You're welcome to stand by the mic. If you can give them a round of applause. Thank you so much for their service.
I mean, yeah.
I'm going to read your certificate and then we can give you lei at the end. Thank you. In recognition of your exceptional service and unwavering dedication as a board member of the Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board since 2025, your leadership, particularly as vice chair and as treasurer of the Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board at large, you have helped immensely in overall operations. Our neighborhood board values how you implemented the Olelo No'eau, e lawe I ke a'o a malama, a'e oi mau ka na'oau. He or she who takes their teaching and applies them increases his or her knowledge. As the chair and vice chair for our education committee, thank you so much for implementing that for our community. As the vice chair, as the chair for the Land and Water Committee, Valerie May Manoa implemented the Olelo No'eau, he ali'i ka'aina, he kauwa ke kanaka. The land is chief and man is its servant. Mahalo for implementing that for our land and putting our aina first. We acknowledge the countless hours you have devoted to our community and the positive impact of your work. Your vision and dedication have inspired many, and your hard work will continue to influence our efforts moving forward. Thank you for going above and beyond in your service to our community. On behalf of the Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board and the residents we serve, we extend our heartfelt gratitude for your service. You will be greatly missed, and we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Mahalo.
Aloha, everyone. I know this comes as a surprise for many of you. I have loved working with our board members. I have learned so much. They've helped to build my courage while also advocating for our education, our land and water, and for everything that our board stands for in our Nānākuli-Māʻili area. I am leaving the area, and that's why I needed to resign from my position. It is with heavy heart that this happens. It is to move closer to my children and my grandchildren, as my husband did pass 3 years ago. So it's been kind of a, sorry, my fifth graders would say, 6-7 experience. I had to put that in there. But mahalo so much for everyone online, everyone here, and I know those who weren't able to be present. The only way our ahupua'a, our moku, our cousins up and down our area, and to the larger Hawaii population, either in Hawaii or on the continent, can survive is by coming out to these meetings, voicing what is important to not only your ohana, but what will help our whole community moving forward, and then supporting all of the decisions that were made from our kupuna behind us. And that's what we got to remember. And as I teach my fifth graders, that decisions that are made today will affect us in the future. And for our children, for those of you that are here, teach them well so that they become the leaders in our community. Because, you know, when we're kupuna status, which I can't believe I'm saying I am, when we're kupuna status, it's going to be our mo'opuna that's going to take care of us, and the decisions that they make based on the knowledge that you share with them of what Hawaii is. So I want to just leave that with all of you. Mahalo so much for letting me serve.
Mahalo.
Aloha, everyone. About 3 years ago, I think I came to my first neighborhood board meeting and I attended because of my concerns at Nānākuli High and Intermediate School. And I fought for our SRO that we finally got and will be implemented. And I never realized how much your voice can make a difference until that day, and your voice in the right place. And so then I took the opportunity to be a part of this board. My time, unfortunately, is up. My answer is to God first. So wherever He calls me, that's where I go. And I think it's very important for us to know when our time is up, wherever we are. I continue to advocate for especially the youth of our community. It's really hard, as you guys know, especially on the West Side. Sometimes you battle your own, but you got to continue to stand. And I think that's why I want to encourage, if we stand and we do what God is calling us to do, we're in the right place. But we got to recognize when it's time to move out of certain places so that we can be in alignment with Him. So thank you guys for allowing me the opportunity. I'm still here to serve my community in whatever capacity. Bittersweet, not something that I expected to have to do. But again, I answer to God. That's how I end that. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much. So we have, before you leave, we have one more certificate to honor this evening, and that's our former neighborhood commission office assistant, Jeffrey Jones. If you can join us up here. I'm going to go ahead and read your certificate, and we're going to give you lay. Okay. Okay. Jeffrey Jones, for your dedicated service from 2023 to 2026, you have played an essential role in supporting the Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board number 36, one of the official neighborhood boards within the city and county of Honolulu's island-wide system of community advisory boards. Through your coordination and participation in monthly board meetings totaling dozens of meetings annually, and your continued presence at community events and parades, you have strengthened communication between government agencies and the residents of the Nānākuli-Māʻili community. Your commitment to ensuring each meeting is organized, accessible, and productive, along with your involvement in community outreach efforts, has helped uphold the mission of the neighborhood board systems to foster public participation and community engagement. Your professionalism, reliability, and dedication to service has made a meaningful and lasting impact on our board and the community we serve. The Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board sincerely appreciates your hard work and dedication, and we extend our deepest gratitude for your continued support. Mahalo.
Man, it's a little weird to be on this side of the microphone and this side of the table, isn't it? Yeah, it didn't actually. It's a way different feeling being on this side of the table for sure. Being on this side of the microphone. This is Malia shared. My name is Jeffrey Jones. I'm the former neighborhood assistant for the board. I want to say thank you all very much. I promise I'm not going to cry too much. Thank you all, board members and community, for allowing me the last 2.5 years to be a small part in inspiring change to a very, very special community that I hold to my heart. I, of course, born and raised in Waianae, but you know, Nānākuli, you guys are our neighbors, so all one big community. But I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity and privilege to be here and to serve alongside each and every one of you on the board. In the 2.5 years I was the neighborhood assistant, I've seen this board go through many changes with board members, very many changes with residents coming to and from meetings to participate, and all of it has been a wonderful, wonderful part of my life to be here. I wanted to also say thank you all in a transparent way of speaking. Being a part of this board and being a part of this family saved my life, really. And I appreciate every single one of you sincerely from the bottom of my heart, that I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the people at this table and the people in this community. So thank you all very much for the recognition. You guys are in great hands with the Neighborhood Commission Office. Anson is a wonderful NA. So you guys are in great, great hands there. But I'm not going too far to the community. I'm going to be working for the Boys and Girls Club of Hawaii organization, being the Child and Club Safety Coordinator. So I'll very much be in the community. I'll be servicing all the youth that attend the Boys and Girls Clubs here on Oahu and on Kauai. So I got a whole lot of kids I got to look out for, but empowering the next generation of youth is where I'll be for the foreseeable future. So thank you all for preparing me for that role, and I appreciate you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to take a short recess for a photo, and then we'll be right back in 2 minutes. Recess. Okay. Meeting back in order. Calling meeting back to order at 7:44. We're going to move forward with the next agenda item, state officials' monthly reports. During this agenda item, we are going to take it out of order. At the pleasure of the board, if you guys could agree to an adjustment to move Councilmember Andrea Tupola up to the item 4 on our agenda to present at item D. Any motion?
So moved.
Motion made,
Motion, yeah.
seconded. Thank you so much. Okay, first on our agenda, we have Governor Josh Green's representative, Department of Agriculture Chair, Sharon Hurd, online.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to the new board members and aloha to those that are leaving. As the governor's representative from the Department of Agriculture and Biosecurity, my name is Sharon Hurd. I guess the top of the agenda that I wanted to report on was the very, very unfortunate, sad departure of Mike Lambert as the director of the Department of Law Enforcement. It is a departure. His resignation was based on the retirement procedures over at the city and county, and he is very sad leaving, but he made the difficult decision based on his personal situation. And those of you that recall the battles we went through last year to get the Duke's Law passed, Mike Lambert was instrumental in getting that law through, and aloha to him. So that would be the first thing. I did send out the governor's message earlier, but added to that is the emergency proclamation and the subsequent emergency farmer relief program that he approved. The governor has awarded $2.5 million to the emergency farmer relief program that was able to, well, we got about 1,600 applications that were verified and eligible. We're going to be able to cover all of those 1,600, but in increments. It takes a long time. It takes longer than we thought to verify whether or not the address and names and all of the information is correct that we have. So right now we have sent out a number of emails, and along with the email there was a statement. It was a signed statement that you're verifying that all the information is true, and if you sign it and return it, then we start processing the checks out to you. And I believe that the first tranche of checks went out, maybe about 40, and then by the end of this week we should have another maybe 60 going out. It's going to be a slow process. Verification is taking longer than we thought, but we should have all 1,600 out, hopefully, cross your fingers, in the next 3 weeks. And the checks are in the amount of maximum 1,500. Okay, so then the other thing that I wanted to report on was the governor was successful in getting a FEMA declaration for the state of Hawaii. And with that declaration, we do get federal funding for public infrastructure. Usually it's only to cover public infrastructure like schools and roads and public buildings. Personal losses are generally covered by insurance, and or there is a FEMA declaration that you can fill out. However, if there is any funding for personal type losses, it's going to take a while and it's going to take a lot of verification. So be patient with that. And with that, I'll take questions.
Thank you so much for the update. Any questions from the community for the governor's office? Please approach the mic, state your name.
Aloha, Sharon Hurd, Calais Salcedo. You know, they say the governor's emergency proclamation, yeah? And we got to understand and remember, he needs to know a lot of the areas was flooded, was not a flooding zone. You know, was not a flooding zone, a lot of the areas there. So, and a lot of them, they're kupunas, they don't have homeowners insurance. So are we going to just kick them to the side? You know, the kupunas deserve, the residents. That's an emergency proclamation when it comes to this flooding. And a lot of the areas, like I said, was flooded, was not in flooding zone. So I want to know what's going to happen to those people that do not have homeowners insurance. Because the flood was not caused by the homeowners. It was caused of the maintenance not being maintained in the streams. So the governor needs to do something about that instead of just keeping them and forgetting about them, because there are our people. And the people should be heard, not forgotten. So could
Okay.
you please deliver that?
I will. Thank you. Thank you, Calais.
Aloha, our governor's representative.
Hello.
Salcedo. Mrs. Hurd, bring to the attention for DLNR as well, and for the neighborhood board as well too. There was a 2014 mitigation study for the west side, 2014. Makaha Valley alone, it was estimated 2014 for, I think it was 208 million for the flood infrastructure in that area. But DLNR engineers stepped in and said it will benefit large landowners and commercial. So with that said, I think the DLNR engineering department should confront our neighborhood board officials and present the flood mitigation for the west side itself. And it would unfold a lot of storage that hasn't been taken forth. Our previous legislators left it alone because we had challenged the Makaha Valley one, because it would have impacted a lot of the inland landowners. It would have brought in utility besides stormwater piping and all that. The utility ditch would encompass sewage piping for 1 acre properties. And that'll be devastating for individuals living on fixed incomes. So we oppose that. So Carly Chang, he retired already from the engineer on DLNR, and he deferred this actually to the city. Okay, this is back in 2022. We have legislation for these areas. It was House Bill 2059 of legislation of 2022. House Bill 2059. Okay, so this dialogue has to go continuing because this past corner Lowe's has devastated the west side. And DLNR and I think Board of Water Supply should have a take on this flood mitigation studies as well. That's all I have.
So I have a question, Austin.
Yes.
So you have a question on the flood mitigation study, and you want DLNR engineers to come and talk to this board about it?
Yeah, because there's a large landowners, because a lot of the mountains on our side, actually, they own about 70% of the island, because the island is about 70% all mountains. And Board of Water Supply is also another real estate landowner as well too. So majority is DLNR. So the engineering department has a crew that had done this flood mitigation, and it's out there, the studies, but nobody has taken this dialogue because this corner law had devastated the area. So I think this conversation is going to continue now. So we're going to have to get the individuals, the state, to get involved with this as well. That's what I'm saying.
Understand. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. If there's any further community members who would like to ask a question, please line up at the mic.
My name is Sabrina Grace and I live up Akima Road. I'm born and raised here. I'm gonna be 70 years old. The last devastating flood we had was in 2008. All everybody did was talk, 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 talk. But if you go look in the records, everybody went through the properties. And the government knew that this storm was going to be devastating. I never seen no city and county cleaning out the ditches and the drains on Hakima Road, nor did Park here. And the people was left there for 11 days. Yeah? My grandson was so frantic because he has family on Ili Road. He was the one that called Darius Keeler on social media. He also called Tupoola. But everybody was worried about go taking pictures. We don't need no more fucking bullshit and talk. I'm sorry, but people, she wants personal insurance to cover.
Thank you.
The government should pay for everything because it's their fault.
Thank you. We have to keep decorum, so please
course.
be respectful. This does get aired online. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Pikachu Shelby Builder, aloha, Auntie Sharon Hurd, good to see you. Well, I was going to say thank you for helping us pass SB 1249, working with the Salcedos, and the family members. So for you to represent Governor Green's office, that's fantastic. We have a lot of issues going down. What was concerning, like Sabrina mentioned, we only found out through social media, through Jody Kealana. The last time we were at this board meeting, we had Pastor Kimo, everyone pray, but they were stuck in doo-doo water, and Ili Road was even worse. So we do have a lot of people working in the community. You got Chardonnay and Papaya Road. You got Salto Wahine working out. Me Too. You got Bill Team 50 with Chena de la Cruz. Her roof still collapsed with 30 plus people, and there's still black mold, rats, and stuff. So my current concern to you is that while we're having stuff here, I think this is the second or third time, Auntie Blanche calls me because they have a problem because all the water runs off the road. What's been working as a solution is putting sandbags to block off the road by a powerhouse church. So you're gonna have to divert the water if we can't control it until we can figure out a long-term solution with the Army Corps of Engineers. And I still suggest to the governor, Pine Ridge, who owns the road, you guys just divert it to the USA, who owns allegedly that land on the dollar lease, and we can work something out. But going back to Auntie Blanche's, I know she's friends with Josh Green. Why are they calling Pikachu? To help them with assist, because I have to call 911, fire department, DFS, the same process. So that's what's strange to me. And Sabrina Grace went out there. We put the word out with Daniel Molina and the crew. So please get that work to the governor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further questions for the governor's office? Seeing none. Johnny May Perry online.
Thank you, Chair. Johnny May Perry. Good evening, Sharon.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's a great loss for Lambert to make the decision that he needed to. I'm concerned about the state buying Wilson Dam. I don't know if people recall the Koloko Dam in Kauai, where lives were lost. It's a huge liability to taxpayers if they go in that direction to buy the dam from Dole. Huge liability to taxpayers. The flooding, it's all the landowners and lack of maintenance. I'm glad to hear there's a lot of rebuilding, but it's still not correcting the problem. We need corps of engineers and hydrologists to anticipate what to do with the water. This will happen again. It happens on the west side, it happens on the north shore. They need to know they need to find a way of what to do with the water and fix the infrastructure. So the last question, when is FEMA money coming to Hawaii? Thank you.
I'm sorry, Johnny May, I missed that last question.
FEMA money.
FEMA money.
FEMA.
Okay, all right.
When is it coming to Hawaii? Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from community? Seeing none. Questions from the board for the governor's office, Board Member Tector, Board Member Myers.
Aloha, Sharon. Thank you for the reports and to understand what our people are saying since 2008, 2011,
and the mitigation reports. Since the governor came on board, there are many reports. Very minimal work done. However, as you understand, ag land, this is private land, ag land, smack dab to military. As we've gone out yesterday to actually find out where all the flood had occurred because drainage was either not cleared, not done, overran. Also the vegetation. So with your knowledge for ag, as the money is coming out, how do you prioritize who gets what first, even in CIP improvement? And as the FEMA money comes, whether it's a flood zone area versus areas that were flooded and not on the map, we need that report from the governor. If you could supply that with us, otherwise we will be again 2026 with no improvements.
Okay, so if I understand that, Member Tecta, you would like the governor to give you a report of his priorities on how the FEMA money will be spent?
Yes, please, because they can always divert. If the budget is done and you guys determine that there's more importance in Wailua, then so be it. We need food. Our ag land was, ruined by this Konalo, and you can't make promises to us and then change the budget midstream. So yes, we need a report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. What I'm concerned about is the response and getting back to us, to the community, as far as what's the state, specifically under the governor's leadership, is going to do so that there's not a hanaho. And what I specifically mean is that the shelters were at State Department of Education sites. And so first and foremost, Haima did not turn on any sirens to let people know who may be camping, they're not even online, they're homeless, they don't have any way of understanding we got this kind of weather that was coming. And if they're at the beach in an area that has floods, so many of us know at Kea'au, past there, one of the cars went off the ditch. I mean, there was caving in on the road and heading towards Makua. So first and foremost, what is the governor's explanation for the sirens not going off? Because again and again, we believe the only time the sirens should go off is hurricane or tsunami. But we should have already learned from Lahaina that other than tsunami and hurricane, the sirens should also go off, because those individuals that are not online, not next to a radio, they need to know that something is coming. So that's my first and foremost concern. And secondly, it's related to the shelters. What is the state, Haima, and the city Department of Emergency Management, DEM, how are they working together to ensure we have a primary site for emergency evacuation, which we did, Nānākuli High, but then when that needed to close down because school was going to open up, what's a secondary site? Could it be Kalanianaole Beach Park? Because it's not a tsunami. It was just to get people shelter. So instead of just shutting down the one at Nānākuli High, those people needed to go somewhere, because if their homes on Hakimo Road were flooded, where are they going to go? But Red Cross didn't even have solutions. Just was like, we're shutting down and you guys just need to go somewhere. So I just want to know, what is the governor's response? He's the top. He's the one who's using the proclamation, emergency proclamation. So I just want to know, what is he doing to avoid that from happening again? Mahalo.
Got it. Thank you.
Aloha. I was wondering if the governor is working on any of the brick funding that's available for FEMA So that is the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities grant funding. There's billions available. It's specifically open to hazard mitigation. So it's not going to work for this disaster, but it can help us prepare for the next. It can cover wildfire, flood. I just want to know if the governor is thinking about that or working on it. It will take studies to showcase where we have those damages. It should include DLNR. It should include almost all of our departments to make sure that every single hazard can be mitigated within this funding. There's billions available. Thank you.
Okay.
Board Member Weaver.
Aloha, Sharon, my question is the timelines. What are do you have the timelines as far as the relief distributions?
Oh, the timeline, the first tranche of money, the first applications closed on March 27th. And the reason we had to close it is in order to do evaluation and awarding, you have to stop the intake. So that was the first timeline. We closed the applications. We started processing the next week. We just started sending checks. I would say what's today, April 21st. So it took us about a month to get all the verifications, all the setup, and the next tranche of funding should be the end of this week. And the timeline, I'm going to make an estimated guess that in the next 3 weeks, we should have all 1,600 checks out. And the reason that I can't give you a real firm timeline is when we sent out the emails, we asked that you verify the email with a signed statement that we sent to you saying that all this information is true. This is the correct address to send my check to. This is who to make the check out to. And all the information that I'm providing is, there's not a duplicate and on and on. We have not been receiving those emails back maybe we've gotten half of them. So what we're asking now is we're calling them back and we're saying, hey, are you able to respond? Because without that response, it's a W-9 as well. We need a W-9. So with that information, then we're able to verify and send out checks. So I can't give you a real, firm, it depends on when we're getting the responses back, but we're guessing that within the next 3 weeks, we should be on our way. Okay.
Thank you. Any further questions from the board? Seeing none. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And please send an email with the responses so I can forward to our board members. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda, we have our state senator in person, Samantha D. Court.
Thank you. Mahalo, Chair. Welcome to the new board members. Thank you for your willingness to serve. Since we're kind of talking about the flooding, I did want to bring to your attention that FEMA issued the determination letter that goes into effect on June 10th, 2026. And on the flood map incurs close to 500 areas, on the whole coast. So 21 parcels in Nānākuli, 144 parcels in Māʻili. So that's just for this area, but for the entire coast, it's close to 400. Chair, I'll send you the link to the flood map so residents can go ahead and type in if that is their parcel or not. And then also with Pa'akea Road, I just want to give a shout out to Department of Transportation. Sniffin has been very hands-on with getting the pump trucks out there with what he can, balancing between, the North Shore side and then the west side too. So want to appreciate them. And then also community has given their needs. We've been able to provide some of the resources and equipment to Powerhouse Gym, as well as the residents who live in the back roads over there. But we're continuing to collect donations. Right now, construction materials is what is really needed up at Pa'akea Road. So if you have, please contact my office contact my office. And we're also getting supplies from hardware stores and those kinds of things. I do want to really quick, sorry, I don't know how much time I have. Kole Kole Pass, we've been able to open that recently with the water main break in Nānākuli through collaboration with the Army and Department of Transportation and Haima. We were able to open Kole Kole Pass that morning during the water main break. So there wasn't a lot of traffic. I think people are still used to what they're used to, which is using Farrington Highway. So I believe we'll have more traffic opportunities to open that up. So it did run smooth. Okay. You know what? I do want to mention. Okay, go ahead. No, we'll just open up for questions.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Any questions from the community for Senator DeCourt's office? Please approach the mic, state your name. Anybody? Question? Okay.
Hello, Senator. With this Kona law, since Waianae didn't have a board meeting first Tuesday, I'm going to bring this up. Over at KL area, during the Kona law, 70 people had to be evacuated out of there by helicopter. And they blocked up the whole road because the whole Farrington Highway, the eastbound lane, got a little wiped out there. And there's a road closure sign on Farrington Highway. So the state did their diligent job. It's the community that's disrespecting HPD prevention from people going in there. But the city is allowing for houses on KL, their partial of their property at KL undeveloped side, and they're still there. So now tourism is going back and forth, community is going back and forth on Farrington Highway, but the road closure on the state, Ed Sniffen did his job. But it's a city side is not doing their diligent work. Community is disrespecting HPD, our city workers. So any common ground solution at this moment right now, because to say it again, Ed Sniffen did his job. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Board Member Cowles, Hector, Myers.
Hi, Samantha. I had to take the Nānākuli Pass one day. The traffic was backed up all the way to Waianae Mall. I had an appointment at the VA Center in Kapolei. When I took I was kind of surprised. I took the Nānākuli Pass, and it was pretty fast. There was no traffic. Well, had some traffic, but it was moving. And it only took me, 10 minutes from this side to Lyman Gate, outside Lyman Gate, but 10 minutes. And I want to thank the military, the military for allowing us to use that road and use their base to go through. And I'm glad you guys helped push for them to open it. That was a big thing right there. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Tector.
Hi, thank you for your report. Quick question for FEMA in obtaining the funds and people that are designated in the flood zone on the maps, according to the state, do they require the homeowners to use their insurance first and then go to FEMA? Would you know that offhand?
Yeah, so with the new flood maps, it is going to require homeowners to now get flood insurance. So that's just extra costs on our residents. The Waianae Coast just in total has probably been the most district to have that increase in the flood maps. So
yeah, the reason why I ask is I do have flood insurance, but it's, again, they're like, well, don't you have other help too? And then my insurance is going to go up even higher. Yeah. So it's like, and we need to understand this so that the community knows how to, get finance to repair even just a leaky roof and then there's soil that was depleted.
yeah, insurance companies definitely have to do a better job. I mean, they're like slower than government. And that's really slow. So the fact that they require this, extensive checklist and you've got to, really go through the process. It takes a long time. By then, community has come together, organizations has really stepped in. So we're doing our best to keep the insurance company accountable, but hopefully we can get a speedier response from them. Yeah.
Thank you. Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Senator. That was one of the things that I was going to ask Sharon about, but I wanted to stay focused on the siren as well as the evacuation sites and not get it flood down too much. Can you, I heard you say that you were going to send the maps over to Malia to send to us, so Chair will be able to share it with us. What did you glean out of it? I mean, is FEMA going to give priority to serve those that are identified on the map as being in the flood zone? Because when you're in a flood zone, not many people pick flood insurance because there's so much expenses related to just living anywhere. So are they just gonna disqualify? Do you know if they're gonna disqualify people because they don't have flood insurance? Because I was just on their site and they said the first line of defense, first and foremost important source of recovery funding is the insurance.
Yeah.
So is the state legislature thinking of, for those who didn't have insurance?
Yeah, so the flood maps, the new flood maps, they don't go into effect until June 10th, 2026. So FEMA does have to step in with those that need those funds. That's why the disaster proclamation was so important, to ensure that we get those funds.
Okay, because I know they're also saying on FEMA site to go to other entities, SBA, et cetera, depending if you have a business or not. OHA had determined that they're going to help farmers, but they allocated $100,000, and I'm hoping Lisa can let us know if it's more than that. But they said up to $5,000 per farmer. 100,000 only going to help 20 farmers at $5,000 each.
Yeah, hey.
So I'm still questioning whether or not legislature is going to provide sufficient funding. You said 400 homes along Senate District 22. If it was 400 for each district, we got 25 districts. I'm just wondering, do you see that the governor has a game plan, or it's just kind of, put out fires as you see them, so to speak?
Yeah, I'll follow up with him to see what he's doing specifically for Waianae, and how he's planning on distributing those funds, those FEMA funds for Waianae.
Thank you. Board Member Kong.
Thank you, Samantha. Me and Uncle Paul, I think last month, we went to the pass. Remember that morning? So when I got there, the guards didn't even know what was going on. I said, you never get the memo. We're going through. But that was just a PR, eh? So, like I said, over and over, we counted 1 hour, 5,200 cars going out for work, and 400 coming out of the valley. So when that thing back up, like the truck went flip
You
over.
gotta tuck into your mic.
So coming back in that one from the Pink Store to Fort Road, 2 hours, it was good. We seen all the houses. When we talk about the insurance, my insurance agent told me if I like hurricane, I said, no. You like flood? No. I just need fire. Because whatever gonna come, gonna burn. So when the chief come, I said, let it burn. We cannot keep on buying insurance. And right now, the insurance is just crazy. And like they're not gonna cover you, yeah. But thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sorry, we're at board members' questions, and once we move past community, then you can take the question offline with her. Thank you. Okay. No further questions. Thank you so much. Next on our agenda, we have Representative Darius Kila. He is not available to be joining us this evening. Transportation committees are advancing over 50 bills into conference. And so he is currently with the state capitol. Thank you so much for your time in working on the bills, active bills and legislation. Next on our agenda, we have Councilmember Andrea Tupola in person.
Aloha board and congratulations to the new board members, Uncle Mark, Sky, looking forward to working with you. And thank you, Carla, for coming out. I just want to say, I've seen this lady at work with homeless and she's stellar at her job. And Uncle Mark, best mangoes ever. I also just wanted to express my love to Kawi and Val. Really love you guys a lot. I know she said the SRO thing, but you guys don't know how pivotal that was. People have been asking for school resource officers for decades on our island. Even the former school superintendent came up to me and she asked me, how'd you guys do it? Kawi brought it up. And then Uncle Paul, gave his personal experience. So we are looking forward to implementing the SRO in Nānākuli this coming fall. So it's coming. And of course, Val, just so much love to you and your family. Known this lady 16 years. She's like a gem of wisdom. Okay, so I'm going to go over a few things. Some of the comments that were made earlier, I just wanted to address because some of them are really important. I know that this is not the neighborhood board for Makaha, but what Uncle Austin brought up about the BWS property was serious. The landslide that happened on the BWS property went right up along homes. If you guys saw these photos, it was devastating. The landslide was huge. I mean, if it was only like literally 1 foot away from the house and the rocks stopped. And the rocks were like all the way up the mountain. So I do think the BWS like presentation of Makaha would be very important to do because I don't know how they're going to move that whole landslide away, but it's dangerous. So I do want to say that. I also want to thank Sabrina for the thoughts that she brought up because her grandson also called me. So as stated by our senator, DOT was out there because DOT owns Pa'akea Road. So DOT acquired Pa'akea Road in 2024. So I know that the state side, they're going to share more about, I think, what they're doing for flood mitigation. But as Sabrina brought up on Ili, which was separate from Pa'akea, that's where people couldn't egress and ingress into their homes. So I did want to thank HFD. I know they left, but DOT, as stated by our senator, was really spread thin. So I had to ask HFD if we could use their pumps. Luckily, these guys came out and brought me 2 pumps. I had to beg on our side to send 1 truck and 1 pump. And then as well, we asked a private property owner off Ili if we could pump onto her property because the DOT trucks were traversing from Nānākuli or from Lualualei all the way to Pearl City to dump the water. So there's a lot of different things of why it was taking so long. So we had to expedite everything, ask the private property owner, ask a neighbor if he could bring a backhoe so we could dig a ditch. Like it was a mess. I will say that. The first Konalo, May 13th. We tried to get out there with 1 truck on March 17th. It was too tough. With 1 Vector truck, we wasn't making any progress and it was raining. So then second Konalo, March 19th through 20th. So by the time I kind of rallied up all the people all together, we didn't get out there to March 24th. But as stated, it was many, many days of trying to beg a lot of agencies to come and look at our community and know that we also needed that help. Not to downplay the devastation that happened on the North Shore. We know that it was devastating, but we needed a few trucks and we needed a few pumps. So those personal private properties are being assisted by Nānākuli Protestant Church, Pauahi, Pastor Allen. They have a whole database of who's getting help. So I thank them for privately helping them. This one, oh, sorry, did I pass it up? Oh yeah, you guys have it. This one right here. Okay, so I know you guys saw the flyer from Sabrina about the meeting tomorrow. So that's going to be Kapolei Neighborhood Board. So it's just a presentation from ENV and it's going to be about the landfill. So I know in this neighborhood board and in this community, we've been fighting this for years and years and years and years. And we were told at multiple town halls that it would never be on the west side. And then boom, surprise. Yeah, it was devastating to see $30 million inside the city budget that nobody explained to me. So when I saw it in the city budget, which was last month, I thought it was a typo. I was like, oh, is this landfill acquisition money for another parcel? Because at the meeting that they had at the Nānākuli Kalana-Anaole, they never said it. They never said that they were going to buy a property. So if you have a public meeting with my community, you don't say it, and then you surprise us in the budget with a 30 million acquisition, of course we're shocked. So I just want to let you guys know, I already called Campbell. Campbell owns the land, and they said the land's not for sale. So I'm going to get that letter penned. Their lawyers are going to look over it because, hello, you can't put money inside the budget for land that's not for sale. So I've discussed this with the administration. Not only were we told it wasn't going to be on the west side, but this land is not even for sale. So why are we entertaining this idea? I want to say one other thing, and I'm sorry I'm taking so long, but the EPA ruled that that landfill needed to be closed because of what happened in the runoff, right? So 2008, the flooding, the runoff. You think the EPA is going to be okay if they buy an adjacent property of land in the same area with the same flooding issues? So you better believe that I'm going to get a letter from the EPA too. Because at the end of the day, every single way that we need to block this, it will get blocked. So I took out the 30 million from the city budget. Of course, I already got a letter saying, can we please put the money back? And the answer is, what's the answer, guys? No. We're not putting 30 million back because I also asked, if you do actually acquire this land, how long is this land going to sit? They said between 6 and 8 years until we get the permits. Can you imagine $30 million getting spent for a vacant parcel of land to sit? We're not going to do that. Okay, so this is your flyer. So tomorrow's the first meeting. April 29th is the second meeting if you want to go online. This one is going to be about a resolution to end the landfill. So we're going to start a task force. It'll be 1 year long, where I lay out a plan, because that's what's missing, a plan of how we're going to end the landfill. Then May 1st, sorry for my scribbling, it's May 1st, not May 11th. So May 1st will be the second reading for budget. So in this one, you're going to look for Bill 23, and then that's going to be the discussion about taking out the 30 million, which I already did, but we're going to make sure that it stays out. And then also the resolution will be on June 3rd, and then the last reading. Okay, if you have questions, you can ask there. Last thing, and then I'll take questions. Many of you guys have been keeping up about what's going on with the chief of police. So here's the dates. May 5th, all the semifinalists for chief of police are going to be interviewed. May 6th, the commission will discuss and select finalists. May 14th, everyone can watch this. It's going to be on PBS Insights. They're going to interview the top candidates for chief of police. May 18th, the finalists are going to meet individually with the mayor. May 19th, the commissioners will convene in groups of 2 to interview each candidate individually. And on May 20th, the commission will take its last vote and we will have a new chief of police. May 20th. We've all been waiting very, very long for this. So if you guys want to follow that process, there's no necessarily public input, but it's going to be good for us to watch as the candidates file and as they're asked questions, because this is a very important position in the community. So with that being said, I will take questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the community for Councilmember Tupola? Please approach the mic and state your name. Please approach the mic and state your name.
Andrew, since the storm, the 2014 study that you're doing, are they using that and did they update it? The flooding, because the flooding in 2014 needs to be updated. There was a lot of activities in the 20s. So how are you going to determine who got flooded? There's a lot of people that got flooded because of all of the movement. So how are you going to determine that?
So I'm not exactly sure. I think with what Senator brought up, a few things, guys. Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Waianae Mall, every agency will be there. So the governor's office is sending the Office of Resilience, the FEMA will be there, the city will be there, because these are the kind of questions that I don't know the answer to, because they would determine the maps, right? And as stated by the senator, there's some private determination by insurance companies, but a lot of people want to know how much money is being afforded to community members for what areas. So I will say that on Saturday, I was told, because this is a city and county sponsored fair with Elepaio, that all the people who have the answers are going to be there. The governor's office told me that they'll be there, all the Office of Resilience, FEMA, they're going to have answers from Department of Agriculture. We're going to have DPP there talking about permitting. If your property's been affected and you can't live in it, we'll have real property tax, and you can file it right there to not pay property tax. To not pay property tax until your property is repaired or it's livable. So there's going to be every agency. So to answer her question, there's so many pieces that I'm hoping we'll see, because it'll be in person at Waianae Mall, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Well, I have a copy of the flood study for 2014, and I went over with somebody in the city and the state, and there has been a lot of movement since 2014. So how are they going to determine who's entitled to be covered or not?
And I have a copy and then I'll go to the fair and I'll try to ask the questions because some of the people in the different agencies have actually never been out to our community. So I think some of these questions are important and I think they're going to have ambassadors or people kind of shepherding kupuna, those in need to go from what booth to answer their questions.
Thank you.
Hello, Andrea. I brought it to the attention to our senator, the court, about KL area, KL's. The whole area was devastated. The state did their diligent job by posting a sign, danger, basically, at the end of KL developed side, KL Beach Park. But there's traffic going through there. Individuals is disrespecting HPD. And there's a lot of, again, individuals at Waikomo's area, and the road on the eastbound is destroyed, the state land. So how is the city is going to be accountable? The state, we can ask our senator to look into what the city is not doing. So how can our city be held accountable in the safety of these areas because it's unsafe, it's deemed unsafe?
Yeah, I think Uncle for his question. He's been a strong advocate for HPD. So I will say that I will get with them on what the enforcement is. Because what they're saying is correct. It's super dangerous out there. I'm shocked actually that people try to kind of rehabilitate because the road again is still in the water. So I will discuss this with HPD as far as why there has been allowance and then I'll get back to you guys.
Yeah, just to emphasize on this because 22-151, there is signage out there, no trespassing, no parking, and people still residing there. So city has to be totally accountable on this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gary Shinsato. Last year, I brought up with Kika about flooding in our area for Nānākuli-Māʻili. Okay, I know there was money allocated for a study, and I told Kika at the time last year, I don't think we need one study. We just need to do it. Exactly. According to this subdivision rules and regulations, section 5, the first sentence, this talks about improvements on your property. A subdivider, which is the developer in this case, shall improve all streets, highway, and easements and install drainage facilities, sewers, water, street lights, traffic control devices, street trees, and utilities within the subdivision. So I'm just here to point out whatever he did on the property is not even up to the basic engineering standards. He just laid down aggregate in the parking lot and on the easement with no drainage. And cars park on the parking lot every day, come in and out. And just common sense tell you, as you drive your car in and out of the parking lot and on the easement, you're compacting the aggregate that's sitting down there. So there's nowhere the water's gonna drain. So we just need them to come out and fix the problem, not study the problem. We know it's a problem, period. Thank you.
I'll make this short, but you guys are going to want to hear this story. This is the most ridiculous issue we've had at the end of Kula'aupuni, right? So Nānākuli-Māʻili is built and the developer was asked, just like Gary said, to do all the due diligence, please put in the drainage, whatnot. They have 2 basins on the property. But what happened was it got protested. I think you remember this, James. Yeah. So it was protested because they dug a trench from Kula'aupuni into where the wall is at the canal. Right before they puka through the wall, the protest happened. So the city pulled back. When the city pulled back on it, or not the city, sorry, the developer. When the developer pulled back on it, they ended up dedicating the project, right? People started to move in, but the drainage wasn't filled. Then DPP comes along. The canal's not puka'd through the walls, so what do? Somebody decided to pour cement in it because they said that it was unsafe to keep it open. So then when we came back around, and like he said, the community needed it to get done, the whole problem was we can't dig through the cement. We now have to make a new one. So we're not even sure, because this is back like, what year? 2021. But when the canal was filled, it was before that. Anyways, long story short, they decided that they're going to do a new culvert or a new drain right next to it. And shockingly, it just went out for bid. So it's out for bid, and they're saying that by June 30th, that somebody will have the project, they'll be awarded the money, and hopefully within the next few months it'll get done. But this has been the tragedy of the drainage at Kula-Aupuni, because I've had to have 5 separate meetings with 4 city agencies about why we can't get one simple drain finished on that street. So with that being said, once I get the timeline, once the bid is completed and someone bids on it, I actually already know who's going to bid on it. The developer does want to finish it, and they want to finish it right because they feel like they should do what's right for the community, but the city is kind of holding it up by rebidding it out again. So I will update everyone once we get the timeline when the RFP closes.
Let me just make a side note to enter a story. Going back to the original 201H application, they hired a consulting firm to do the original drainage study. And on the original drainage study, to get the application approved, they said that they had to build 2 30 by 10 by 6 foot deep French drains on the property, okay? I can tell you right now, it wasn't done, okay? When you look at the construction, and then I actually got one copy of the final construction drawings, the approved drawings. The drainage, they hired a new consulting firm and they changed the drainage package, okay, to go out to the Māʻili stream, okay? But you can do that, but you gotta clear it with the Department of Health, Clean Water Branch, and the EPA, which they never did. So that's where we're sitting. So basically, they didn't follow any drainage plans.
Thank you. Okay, this will be our last question from community. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Keola Kana. I live next to Gary, but I live right in front of Nānākuli-Māʻili. So the flood waters that we're talking about comes into my property. So I had to do a lot of planning because I was getting nailed, and these last 2 corner loads just got overwhelmed. But for you, I just wanted to find out, Polo, what is the progress about the drainage? Are we going to have some resolution, or what's happening in a couple of years, or is this how quickly is this going to be? Because you know, on the last 2 floods, some of the cars and the poor things, those rental guys were underwater, and they're renters with kids, and they're in the water trying to get to the car, and it was just overwhelming. And I just feel for that. And I know I talked to you came down and whatever, this is years ago, but I just needed to find out, where are we at? Is that something that we can, before I die, that we can get some resolution?
It's the truth though. It's been super irritating because I do think that when we first talked about it, our solution was to dig out the cement because they were this close to just finishing it. But again, DPP said there could be no digging out of the cement. We had to start the project all over, redesign it, rebid it, which is why it took longer than it had to. But I will keep you guys updated. We can write out everything that happened with this because he's right. We started talking about this years ago.
One fast one that I thought of. We have on property drains. The city, what's wrong with them just buying 2 large pumps, throw them in the parking lot? When the storms come, they blast them onto the property, and that will resolve a lot of issues because the water from the parking lot will be put into the drain on property, and that's legal. But then we would have some help without being underwater. I mean,
Thank you.
That's my thought that I wanted to present to you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So you can take your question directly offline. You have one more question? Okay. Last question. Thank you.
Aloha, Kalei Salcedo. You know, we had so much flooding issues in our 96792. You've been in office long enough to come to the neighborhood boards to hear all the concerns. I mean, that's a long time you've been in office. I don't like to point fingers, but solutions need to be done. And you've been hearing this concern for years of the flooding, whether it's the Army, the Department of Education, the Department of, it's NIPNM, state. It doesn't matter. You're a councilwoman. You hear a problem that we have in the community along the whole 96792, but we still face the same issues. When is the issue going to be, when is there going to be a solution instead? Oh, we're going to see what they say, we're going to see what they said. No. You hold a power seat in the city council. So does our legislatures. They hold a power seat. You folks supposed to be speaking out for our 96792, the whole coast, the west side coast, not wait till something happens. And then we got to figure out things, because I'm darn glad to say it. It's the people and the community and residents that helped each other. Nobody else came. It's the people who malama each other. That is what will happen. So we don't want to hear, we're going to see, we're going to try to work this and out. We want solutions. What type of solutions are you going to bring up? We want solution. This is only a small district. Think about it. And you want to hold the whole islands?
Thank you.
Yeah, so you'll have a chance to testify, everyone, on Bill 22 and 23. So I submitted 17 pages of amendments and all of them got accepted. So every single thing that I asked for from this side, I represent all the way to Eva, all get accepted into the city budget to fund projects. So it's important for you guys, if you need, you can contact my office, but those two bills are heavy. Bill 22, Bill 23, that's actually our city budget and our city CIP. So in the past, this is actually how you guys helped me get the lifeguard stand. It's me putting things in the budget and then that budget getting passed and then fighting to get those things actually implemented on the ground. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. We're going to take questions from the board. One question each, please. Thank you. Board Member Tector, Board Member Cowles, Board Member Myers, Board Member Ayo.
Thank you for your report. In trying to expedite what our people are asking for, so far so good. You're doing a good job. We got to balance and share the responsibility as we've been trying. And in CAP, in infrastructure, because we've seen Kapolei just built, permits pass, we have like a model city that can say that we've been totally neglected and in getting permits, getting the ridiculous drainage thing. I think we're all the workers, we can do it. It's a can-do thing, but we'll get stopped because you need permits, you need laws, you need to pass. So if the budget does, speak for us, improve our beaches, the roadway, it's important that they understand that when the kupuna speak, they say, don't build close to the sand. It's gonna get ruined, just like that $2 million bridge. It's gonna, so that question is, can we get the first dibs of CIP improvement? Because they've got everything already, and one thing for the people that are here, I just need to ask, how do you get a name change on a sign?
So the name changes for any street signs is DOT. So Department of Transportation would determine it, I think, on our end. So say, for example, there was a street name in Kalailoa that was too long and it actually couldn't fit on anyone's address. So it's the Franklin Delano Roosevelt Boulevard. So everyone who lives on that, they don't get mail because the address is too long. The addresses are incomplete on their boxes. So something like that, we would submit a resolution to DPP saying that this needs to be changed. They themselves could do an administrative rule if they needed to shorten it, but not change it. So name changes would be the purview of whether or not DOT wants to do that. Back to your other question about CIP. I will say that's why I'm trying to be very clear with you guys on my list of CIP. CIP is like one of those things that you got to go to bat for every single day. Like I've had to have the same meeting with the same guys at the city about Kula Aupuni 6 times because every time I go there, they're distracted by other things. And I'm like, we're here at my CIP that's now gonna, what is the word? When a year is over. Yeah, so it'll lapse. So every year I have to keep putting the same things in and reminding people this is important. So one of the CIP that we finally got out was for Kaupuni Park. Kaupuni Park was 6 years for us to finish that, just to get the playground, get a gate put up. So again, it's an irritating process, but I hope you guys can look at our CIP list and come testify for it.
Thank you, Board Member Cowles.
Hi, Andrea. I remember you writing. I remember about the development over there.
Yeah.
They tried to do the drain and then all of a sudden they pulled all the permits, and you're right about that. Another thing too is, this is my opinion, Mike Lambert is getting screwed. I think he's getting screwed. He's an awesome guy. He does his good job. He does, what he does is really great. And I hope that he gets what he's supposed to get, and especially for retirement and everything else. The other one is, I want to thank you for replacing our stop sign. They replaced it. I sent Kika one picture, one text.
Yeah.
I don't know if she got it or not, but she didn't respond back to me. But the other one is, the biggest one is this.
Yeah.
How come this wasn't brought before us?
Yeah.
Because this does have a consequence on the Leeward Coast, as usual.
And you guys saw them present here, right? To your board.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And they've been telling us, oh, we're not going to put another landfill, not going to put another landfill on the Leeward side. What are they doing? What is this?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You guys did your due diligence and you guys invited them here and they didn't disclose.
Yeah. But the thing is, too, they didn't bring it before us.
Yeah.
You would think they would bring it before the Nānākuli Neighborhood Board, because that dump impacts the whole Nānākuli side.
Yeah.
Thank you, Board Member Myers.
Thank you, Chair. Last month, Chair had invited and ENV came out and they gave a presentation on Makaiva Hills. So my concern, you were just talking about the $30 million. Is it to purchase Makaiva Hills?
Yeah.
Okay. Makaiva Hills, according to this map, is where Kahe Point is. According to this map, is across from Paradise, between Paradise Cove and Hiko Power Plant is Makaiva Hills on the
Mauka.
ocean side.
No, Mauka.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it's still in our district.
Yep.
So when they presented to us their presentation last month, they basically said, like, out of the gate, for the people that are impacted by Makaiva Hills, which they're identifying as Makakilo and Kapolei, even though I'm looking right over there, Makaiva Hills is right there on the Mauka side. It's the ocean, because Kai is ocean, Makaiva, but it's Kai, Makaiva, if you look at it the way you play with the words. But my thing is that they said from day one, there's going to be a benefits package, certain dollar amount based upon tonnage. Now, we've had Waimanalo Gouch all this time,
Yeah.
and they only gave us benefits package in the beginning. But yet they're going to use Farrington Highway to get to Makaiva Hills through Waimanalo Gouch. So we're going from a gouch to a hill. But now, when it was impacting us, oh, we're going to give you benefits package in the beginning. And then, of course, it went beyond the date that it was supposed to shut down. And so my concern is that our legislatures blocked the city when you wanted to do Wahewa.
The
And-
mayor wanted to.
Yes, the city wanted to do Wahewa, and then they created a bill last year that ended up creating and passed so that it's no longer going to be Wahewa, and now that's why they're using only Makaiva Hills. So my question is, I want the city to give us retro benefits package for all the years Waimanalo Gouch and all the tonnage that went there. But we should be 50-50. If they're still gonna drive through Farrington Highway and they're not gonna enter from H1, Kapolei, Makakilo Drive, But even if they went that way, we're still the runoff into our ocean along Kahe Point. So what is the discussion about the city council? How are they playing with this, the facts of the matter that is still in our district, but then they're giving, oh, Kapolei is the one that's going to get impacted?
So because this is a decision administratively by ENV, unfortunately, they don't have to bring it before the city council, but what they do have to bring forward is how much money they're going to spend. And that's how we found out what they were doing. So to your point, the plan was not disclosed to anybody. So if you're going to put 30 million, and that's the only reason all of us found out the plan, is because they had to show us their cards of how much money they want to put aside for it. So everything that you're saying is everything that I brought up with them as far as a benefits package, if they were going to do, whatever other site to kind of work with us and work with the legislature. When you don't work with them, that's how they ended up blocking it. They had not met with them. They had not met with the landowners. So yes, in the meetings tomorrow night, this is going to be the first time ENV has to answer the question, because now all of a sudden everyone knows that they're trying to buy the property. So tomorrow will be the first questioning of ENV, but then the hearings I listed, that's when we can continue the conversation. The only thing on our side, on the ledge side, we can do is cut their funding, cut their ability to buy, but their decision-making doesn't have to be run by us, but it does have to be run by the Land Use Commission, because it's permitting that they would need to do a landfill, which that land that they're proposing is not zoned to do this. So in order for them to do it, there's many pieces they would have to turn over for this to work, which is why I'm saying this is not a fully planned out plan. It's half-baked. We don't even know how many years or if it's even going to be allowed to be there. Because according to Campbell, who owns the land, you can't do a landfill there based on their zoning.
Thank you. Board Member Io.
This has nothing to do with land and anything else. This question has to deal with, I believe, the council members, the mayor, state representatives, everybody in government are going to get a pay raise. Am I correct? It's in the paper.
Our pay commission, or whatever it's called, is different than the state one, but we don't have purview over them as far as their decision making. And I think on the state side either, but no, I don't know exactly when the date is coming for it, but there is a salary commission, and I know that they have hearings for it. And that's as much as I know about like where they're convening. I did see the article though.
It was in a paper, that's why it specifically mentioned salary commission is approving your pay, the governor's pay, not governor, but the mayor's pay, and every city official that is the rank and above. I just wanted to know if that's true or not. That's all.
Yeah, two different commissions. There's a state salary commission and a city one. I believe they have a few more hearings left. The public is allowed to testify. Unfortunately, we are not allowed to testify on their decision, so.
Thank you. Board Member Kong, Board Member Weaver, and then we're done with questions. Thank you.
Roger.
No solution. Right there, said, we don't have no solution. One of the us, look at it.
Well, here.
This on. There we go. No solution. Everybody was just talking, out of turn. They couldn't, they told us, the one up at Waiwa, no solution. All of a sudden, like they gave one solution. No, they don't have one. No, they don't. Put them in your yard. So that was the thing now. When we go tomorrow, we look at Roger. And we say, Roger, they come somewhere else. We were concerned of the whole island. And everybody about the weather that came, that in our generation can't even think when was the last bad rain. So we hunker down and we move on. Grumbling about nobody coming with the money. They're not going to come with the money. So when I tell them, we ready, are we ready? They cannot answer me because we're not ready
Thank you.
for anything.
Thank you. Board Member Weaver, last question. Thank you.
Aloha.
Hey, aloha.
My question is, can the city emanate the domain, the proposal of a landfill, if not here? If Campbell doesn't want to sell,
Yeah.
what are we looking at?
So resolution 26-7, that's the one I put on you guys' flyer. I'm proposing that we do a task force with all of the top people regarding waste, recycling, and reuse. The reason why we need to have this is exactly what Uncle said, no plan. So when people say to us, oh, we're gonna take the landfill out of Waianae, you know when they're not gonna take it out is when they're not making a plan, because that means it's never gonna happen. So what I'm going to do is convene this task force with all the top experts so that within this year of us planning, that we can actually stop the need for landfills. And I'm not being facetious about this. I went to China, I went to Denmark, I went to Spain. These are all countries that stopped doing landfills. And not last year. China stopped in 2009. But it took them years prior to the stopping of landfills, change policy, change behaviors, change uses, recycling. So I've mentioned this multiple times to the city, and they've told me multiple times that no matter what I say, we're always going to need a landfill. I don't think that's the answer. I know that right now, prior to the storm, the only three things we was putting in Waimanalo Gulch was ash, 140,000 tons, ASR, automatic shredder residue, 42,000 tons a year, and sludge, 40,000. So if you have three materials that are going into the landfill, then you have to figure out what to do with the three materials to reuse them or to recycle them, and then you don't need the landfill anymore. I'm not trying to simplify this. What I'm trying to say is that I visited these other countries to see how it was possible, what was needed, which is mainly a MRF. So it's a materials recycling facility where you sort all of it before you even incinerate. So that's my solution. We come up with a plan and landfills in Hawaii.
Thank you so much. Our board did go to the site visits to all of the municipals this past Saturday. And so there was a lot of information gained through that. ENV was able to provide that. So I think in moving forward, we want to be, our board specifically wants to be active in that task force. So if you can please.
That'd be great.
Please open that opportunity for at least one or two consistent board members to be following that track. Thank you so much.
Yes, no problem. Thank you, board members. Thank you for all the love you gave to your new members and your old members.
Thank you so much. Mahalo. Okay, moving on in our agenda, we have presentations. First up is the OHA, who is online. If you can go ahead and share your presentation, Lisa.
Aloha kākou. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Lisa Vaughn Sakona with the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. As requested, I wanted to provide an update regarding OHA's Kona Low response. Want to let the community know that our first round of funding was released. It was $100,000 that went to support community resource hubs on Oahu, Maui, Molokai, and Hawaii Island. We are building partnerships to expand OHA's continued support as data is being made available where to identify where needs are. In addition, at OHA's courthouse facility in Waialua, we opened a recovery center in partnership with Hawaiian Council. Our second round of funding will be available over the next couple of weeks, and these funds will be made to individuals with individual grant making. As Jermaine mentioned, one would be the Mahiai Micro Fund, which is going to provide up to $5,000 for Hawaiian farmers. We also will be dispersing disaster aid in the amount of $410,000, and the Malama Honua Home Repair Grant, which will be up to $250,000. We will update our website and social media platforms as programs are launched and applications are made available online. In addition, OHA reallocated our existing OHA funds, which were provided to the Hawaiian Council. And this reallocation is so that Hawaiian Council can disperse funds for storm impact as well. This support will be made available via Hawaiian Council's websites. I just want to emphasize that OHA funding is going to where the data is showing need is. So if you guys are seeing things in community, contributing to those data sources is really important to help us identify where needs are. Now to legislative updates. Fortunately, we have one more public land trust bill that's still active. This is HB 2584, and this is to provide increased funding to the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. It has passed the second reading and is in the Senate. It's been referred to the Ways and Means Committee. Also, HB 2101 relating to reef fish protections, which are banned commercial aquarium fishing. Our request was that this would be a statewide ban. The House limited the ban to Hawaii Island. The Senate limited the ban to Oahu only. So right now they are in conference to discuss the opposing amendments. HB 1710 relating to historic preservation, which aims to close loopholes that allow development in high-risk burial areas without review, is currently in conference committee now. And HB 2104 relating to island burial councils is also in conference committee, and they're in their final negotiation stages. Want to also let the community know that OHA continues to advocate for burial council nominations. We have submitted 10 candidates, and we are still awaiting for them to be forwarded to the governor. I'm open for any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions for OHA from the community? Seeing none, any questions from the board for OHA? Board Member Tector, Member Rezan Olds.
Hi, Ms. Vaughn. Thank you for your report. The question would be, are residents considered that have farms in their backyard eligible for the grant, or do you need a license, farming license to apply for the grant?
I'll take your question to the program that's administering. I'll get back to you on that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Board Member Rezan Olds.
Aloha, I was wondering if you guys are working with FEMA to make sure that any of the programs you're rolling out aren't going to impact our community from also getting federal funds.
Yes, currently we've been working with HAIMA. I'm not too sure what the how we've been connected with FEMA, but I will follow up with and get back to you on that. Thank you.
Any further questions for OHA?
Yes.
Board Member Kong.
Yes. I know there was some money that was for the storm victims. And that was for any race, right? Not just for Hawaiians. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, so all OHA funding is limited to those who have verified Hawaiian ancestry.
I don't know how much Hawaiians live down there, but right now here in this valley, in the whole world, we get the most Hawaiians. We're still getting smoke blown off. Thank you.
They need to have been impacted by the storm. Yeah, not just Native Hawaiian, but somebody who was impacted by the storm. Thank you so much. Any further questions? Can you please send us documentation and how to process for the applications for OHA? I did go to the website and it wasn't operational. So I think you guys are still kind of navigating that right now. But if you can please give us, update us when that resource is available so that the community can begin their application process with you folks. Thank you so much.
Will do. Thank you.
We appreciate your time. We're going to move on to our next presentation on today's agenda, which is the Christmas on the Avenue and Operation Blue Light Christmas with co-chairs Pauahi, Leoiki, Trisha Palinapa, and Alana Mahoy.
And the baby.
And the baby.
First of all, we just want to say thank you to everybody for their support. This is Christmas on the Av's fifth, it's going to be our 5th year returning. So we're super excited. I'm going to let Trisha go ahead and present her lace to the board. So I'm Pawahi. I have behind me here Alana and our little baby. And we have Trisha. And so we are the core team for Christmas on the Ave. Okay. We do have a presentation if it is ready, and if not, just let us know and we can go ahead and go from there. All right. So if I can have your attention at the screen. So Nānākuli Hawaiian Homestead is going to celebrate 96 years this year. And we're super excited for how the Nānākuli community has grown over time. And this year's theme is Kupa'a Me Ka Lokahi, standing firm as one. And with everything that you guys talked about tonight, we know that it's important that as we continue to fight for our community, it's important for us to fight to reach the same goals together. And so we're super excited for this. Our website is down at the bottom. It's nanakulichristmas.com. And if we can go to the next slide. Okay. So again, we are your co-chairs. We're driven by Aloha. As the co-chairs, we've served the Nānākuli community year-round, building relationships, uplifting ohanas, creating opportunities that extend far beyond Christmas on the Avenue. We've been able to participate in the flooding, recovery efforts by hosting a drive-through at Nānākuli Protestant Church. We participate in Elepaio's food distribution at Nānākuli High School. This year, we're participating in the May Day program. But these are just all important ways for us to just continue to build a better community. Next slide. Again, we stand as one. One thing that we truly were grateful for in 2025 is for the first year, we had 10 different organizations or groups come together and serve. Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board being one of our organizations to come in, step in, and help to make this event a success. We partnered with Elepaio this year. Waianae Coast Comprehensive brought out their mobile clinic. They did SNAP and MedQuest applications on the spot. We had DHHL come out and we're inviting them again this year. The reason for that is a lot of our kids are turning 18. They don't know where to go, how to go ahead with the DHHL process. So we want to have that information readily available for them and anybody else, as well as having beneficiary forms available for families who need to add on beneficiaries for any reasons. We've also had OHA and Hawaiian Council come out and they give away Foodland gift cards. I think it was about $200 each gift card, which was a hot item during that night. So these were just some of the new things that we brought in during 2025, and we're going to continue to invite them back for 2026. Next slide. This is just a little of the history since we started the event. Again, this is going to be our 5th year. Last year, during 2025, the event was for 6 hours long. We went back to having 3 blocks, so Mano Ave to Pilila'au Ave. We had 80 vendors, including crafts, resources, as well as food. We had 2 stages with live entertainments. Operation Blue Light distributed 2,026 gifts to the keikis on the Waianae Coast, even though some of them came back 2 or 3 times, but it's okay. We love our keikis. And again, we had our 6 resource vendors. We were again incident-free. Our events, our NSW for Nānākuli Neighborhood Security Watch expanded, inviting Teen Challenge, as well as Powerhouse Church, working with HPD and the law enforcement team, all on the app during this time to make sure that the event was safe. Now, our 2026 event key details. We are still working on the letter of supports, so we do have 15 more signatures that we need to gather. We are There's 105 areas for safety equipments. What that means is we have tower lights coming in that's being donated from Safety System and Grace Pacific. We are making sure that we work with the Department of Transportation so that the bus continues to run through the event. It's just going to be rerouted through Mano Avenue, going up Haleakala, through Pilila'au, and then back onto its original route. Again, we have 81 vendors. 6 of them include food trucks. We 2 main stages. We did add additional kupuna seating on each block, which was a highlight we heard from many of the kupunas. And that's something that we're going to continue to do. We do offer free parking at Nānākuli High School. And there is a free shuttle, 2 free shuttles actually, that runs from Nānākuli High School down to Pilila'au Ave. We are working, there was questions about could we add this and Haleakala onto the shuttle route. So we are working on that if we can get more volunteers and sponsors as well. And then we'll continue to have the resource book. And that's pretty much it. These are just some highlight pictures from last year. Again, this event is continuing to grow, but I think one of the highlights that we really enjoy is seeing the community not only come out, but seeing the community involved, that we went from about 60 volunteers to last year, 300 and something volunteers operating the entire event. And I'm going to be completely honest, we do need more volunteers because as the event continues to grow, we would just want to make sure that we remain safe at all times. So yeah, any questions?
Thank you so much. Any questions from the community for Christmas on the Avenue? Any questions from the board for Christmas on the Avenue? Thank you. So the next phase with our board is to work with you folks with the Department of Transportation and road closure.
Yes.
So our board will need to make a motion to support the Christmas on the Avenue event. A
So
motion.
moved. Yeah. Motion.
Motion.
So moved.
Okay. Board Member Tector motioned.
Second.
Seconded by Dela Cruz. Any discussion on Christmas on the Avenue? Board Member Myers.
I just wanted to applaud you guys because I went on the city site and you guys already submitted your parade permit to have access of the road. So it's already on the website. It says that you guys are going through the process. So have you guys gone to DHHL already?
We have. So we're waiting for their letter of support to come in.
Yes, yes. Definitely, you guys already proven with your track record, especially for the 3 of you that last year was your first year and not having any incident. And you guys gave us a report in January. So I think actually you guys gave us a report in December's meeting. Yeah, because we were in recess in January.
Yes.
So I just appreciate you, encourage you guys to continue until I see you guys with white hair and old ladies.
Hopefully not anytime soon.
Mahalo.
Thank you.
Mahalo. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, we're going to go ahead and do all those in favor for Christmas on the Avenue, support for road closure in 2026, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you so much for taking time to present with us. We are looking forward to your event coming up in December. Okay. Next on our agenda, we have the Hawaii Cable Landing Station presentation with David Slesser, and I'll let him introduce his team here.
I think we have a presentation. Thank you. Aloha, Chair. Board members, new and old, thank you for your time. Well, my name is David Slesser, and I'm here to provide an update on our program to expand the subsea cable landing facilities. With me this evening, Alea Huff from YNI, who's our community liaison, and Jennifer Cruz from Coluccio, our local contractor. We are here to discuss the concerns raised by the community and board members during our previous presentation and the content of the formal written proposal that we provided. You may recall that the three important questions were: provide details of our clients, why did we select the location for this project, and provide confirmation that the coral and marine ecosystems will be protected during the project. And just before we begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that we do recognize the importance of the coastline, the feeling that is present in the room tonight about its preservation, and that we will approach this project with the respect and care that's required. Next slide, please. So we've been part of Hawaii's digital infrastructure since our cable landed in 2018. The cable connects Hawaii to the West Coast, through American Samoa, to Tonga, to New Zealand, and to Australia. And it has built-in capability that can be used to connect to other Pacific islands. Our system strengthened Hawaii's digital resilience and introduced long-needed competition to a market previously dominated by a number of small incumbent operators. To answer the question, why did we select the location for this project? The area is already established cable landing site, which gives us several advantages. We can use existing infrastructure, which means no new shoreline development. The geology and nearshore conditions here are ideally suited for a safe, low-impact installation method we've chosen, which we'll explain shortly. And by using this site that has supported cable landings in the past, we avoid disturbing the untouched coastline elsewhere. Next slide, please. So I was asked to give an image of where the lines are. So the latest project represents the next step in safeguarding Hawaii's connectivity. Several of Hawaii's existing cable systems are near the end of their operational lifespans. At the same time, new cable systems are bypassing the state due to perceived permitting complexities. Our goal is to help remove these apparent barriers so Hawaii remains globally connected. It's important to note that no new subsea cables are being installed as part of this project. We are simply making the site future-ready by enabling other cable operators to land new systems here without the need to repeat major shoreline construction work. Any future cables will be required to go through their own permitting process. Future cable termination equipment can be housed in our existing building. Next slide, please. To accomplish this, we are looking to install 3 underground conduits or pipes extending roughly 3,000 feet offshore from our existing facility. We will use a horizontal directional drilling to minimize environmental disturbance during construction. This method bores through solid bedrock up to 150 feet before the seafloor and avoids disturbing the delicate coral and reef ecosystems. The pipes will emerge from beneath the seabed in sandy conditions at approximately 60 feet of water. And following construction, they will rest safely 2 to 3 feet below the seabed. Next slide, please. Protecting the seashore and marine environment is a top priority for us. We've conducted a nearshore marine survey and mapped coral and sensitive habitats to out over 3,200 feet, and as you can see from these images. We've reduced the scope of our project as a direct result of these findings. You'll note from the image there that a number of the lower pipes were going to impact the sensitive areas, so we've removed them from the project itself. Next slide, please. One of the questions we were asked was to provide confirmation that the coral and marine ecosystems will be protected during the project. This is a busy slide, but what I wanted to point it out was in the top part of the table, the measures we will take to make sure this happens. This includes avoiding contact with the corals and coral reefs, conducting pre-work surveys and briefings to identify sensitive areas, avoid all interactions with listed marine species, schedule activities to avoid sensitive periods, for example, coral spawning, maintain constant vigilance by trained dedicated observers, submit daily observer reports as required, hold work if any listed species enter the project area, report monk-seal sightings promptly, and control deployment and recovery of objects from the seabed. So I just wanted to make sure we cover that off. There are other measures that we are a part of our permits, which we will follow. So next slide, please. So we have been engaged with the community for some time now, since September 2024, and extensively with community members, including yourselves here in Nānākuli-Māʻili. We've hosted open door engagement sessions, and provided opportunities for residents to speak directly to our team. And as a direct result, as I mentioned before, we've reduced the project scale from 6 floors to 3. As part of our long-term commitment, we are supporting the community through a scholarship program which to design to encourage and develop local talent. Slide, please. In terms of the community benefits, by making Hawaii a more attractive landing point for future cables, we will greatly enable diverse connectivity, which increases competition to help moderate prices over time. Additional cable sections will also provide greater resiliency against outages or cable failures, offering improved reliability for education, remote work, healthcare, and public safety. We are committed to using skills and talent of the local workforce, and we rely heavily on local expertise throughout the project. Our key partners include Kalucha in construction, ESH for land service environmental work, ASM for architectural and cultural engagement, Layer as our community liaison, and DR Fortress for our local operations and landing teams. And I'm just going to finish off with the benefits of adding resilient connectivity are immeasurable. High-speed internet adoption in Hawaii has grown to over 91% as new capacity has entered the market. In American Samoa, activation of the Hawaii branch increased internet petition by over 50%. And by connecting the Hawaii cable, Tongans can now expect improved access to online services. Mahalo for your time. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much for that presentation and updating us. I know you came to our board before, and a lot of work has been done since then to assure that the community is going to be taken into priority and the environment is number one in moving forward with your project. And so what you brought to us today was a response of the concerns that were brought from the first presentation. And we appreciate you coming back to provide that update. I'm going to open the floor to questions from the community first. Any questions for Hawaii Cable Landing Station from the community?
Aloha, Kalei Sausero. You know, the underwater cable, yeah, they had a breach of contract. The governor, Green, had gave $5 million for that. There was a breach of contract. There was a lot of things was compromised, all people's personal information. And you guys still didn't track the corporate. First, you guys was pointing to China. Then you guys was pointing to another foreign country. What is going on right now? Did you folks ever find a solution? Who had gotten into that cable to get all personal information?
Our cable was not been affected. There are a number of questions in there, including data sovereignty, cable snooping, but as we are not a service provider, we don't hold any of that data.
With that statement, people, you're never going to get the answer. That's all I'm saying. With that statement, you're never going to get the answer because that cable was hacked by a foreign country. Our government knows about it, but yet it stays silent. But all the information, data that you used was leaked out. That's all I got to say. Don't let the first BS win because you need to protect what you're using. That cable communication is very important. So I thank you for your assistance and I thank you for not having an answer.
Thank you. Any further questions from the community for Hawaii Cable Landing Station? Okay. Any questions from the board? Board Member Kong, Board Member Tector.
David, I don't know if we was talking to you in Australia on the last meeting that we had down the park. She was there, yeah? So how do we benefit of this?
How do
we
Hawaiians benefit from this? So that's a really good question. What we do is we enable data which is stored overseas to be delivered into Hawaii, all right? We don't affect your ability to use that directly. I like to use the analogy that we are considered as an aircraft manufacturer, either Boeing or Airbus. We provide the facility for people to provide their services over the top.
Okay.
So we're just providing a fair and equitable landscape for you to receive services from local services.
So it's just like jobs, we're going to have jobs?
So jobs, we've got local community,
Can
local
I be the
contractors
boss?
engaged.
Can I be the boss?
He's the boss.
Yeah. The direct drilling, I did that for many years.
Oh.
So we're taking it out. And the one gonna come with their cable is gonna roll all the way to Kingdom Come.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. He's our project manager for the drilling.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Tector. Board Member Reyes Olds after.
Hi, thank you for your updated report and a better visual from our first meeting we attended. There is an ask, which is definitely since 2018. It wasn't asked then, but the people in the community, which is made up of a high portion of Native Hawaiians, and I know you understand coming from Australia, that we get a benefits package. Your key players benefit from it, and they're receiving funding as well as communication opportunities. It's not open to the public yet. Is that to my understanding?
I'm not sure what you're referring to. Our project is a privately funded project.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So with that, because you have one more to dredge, is that correct? One more line to put in and borrow into the ground again?
We're looking at 3.
Okay, 3 more. So with that, there's going to be an impact, traffic, sound, whatever, as you give the report. So in
Absolutely.
your updated report, that you consider scholarships for the students on the 96792. And I know you're partnering with Kuleana Coral so that to make sure that they can give us a report what's going on. Thank you.
Aloha, Leah speaking. I'm the community liaison from Makaha. I just wanted to clarify that it's the inner island cables, which is separate from the long haul cable, which is relevant toward this project that benefits our local Hawaiians and our homestead and whatnot. So different project. Connects though, because the long haul cable brings in the connectivity, and then inner island connects that way. Another thing is, yes, we are working with Kuleana Coral. We are working with culture practitioners and so on and so forth. And so we do update everybody on what's going on. And if anyone has questions in regards to that, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you. Board Member Raisin Olds.
Hi, I was wondering who did your cultural assessment survey?
The cultural assessment survey, we've had 3 or 4 done over time. We had an initial one that was done when the project site in 2017, which went through with the initial process. We've had 2 done since then by ASM, who are the architects and cultural assessments recently, and they're working with SHIP-D at the moment to help us navigate some questions that have been presented recently.
Okay, and then there's quite a few, let's call them ahus, directly out from that area. I just want to make sure you're very aware of those, that those are there. And then what would be the plan for going under the road, impacting traffic in and out? How is that going to work? Are you guys thinking about that?
Yeah, so there's I guess there's two parts of that. In terms of the path of the bore pipes, they will go under the highway and the railway. They're going to be about 60, 70 feet by the time they get under there. And the size of the holes we're drilling are about 10 inches. So they're going to be about 60, 70 feet under the railway and the road when we get there. There will be some construction traffic initially as we bring the rig to site, but that will be done out of peak flow. And any traffic that needs to take spoil away from the site will also be done out of peak flow. I got caught up in the traffic this afternoon, so I absolutely understand what your concern when it comes to that point.
Yeah, I don't know when we don't have peak flow.
Yeah.
So I just put that out there.
Thank you. Board Member Weaver.
I don't necessarily have a question, but I just wanted to share that it almost hurts when I mean, it's not you, it's not personal, but we have Hawaiian Electric. We're dealing with dump sites. And we got scholarships here and there. We're going to deal with the traffic. I don't have a question. I just want just maybe understanding of where we come, because really we're not going to be able to do anything where we're at right now, right? Whatever was done before, but we're here where we're at right now. So we just got to move forward. But I'm asking that you would seek to understand how it is when we're at a neighborhood board. We are the neighbors. We live here, and we haven't had in the past say. We just got to go with an electric plant. We have, and we just seeking to understand is what I'm asking right now.
Yeah, we do understand. And to that point, we are working on some other initiatives that we can't talk about at the moment, but we will be thrilled to bring them to you at some point in the future.
Thank you. Board Member Dela Cruz.
Aloha. This raised a concern with me with the cable snooping. Are you able to clarify and give us some insight in regards to the protection of the community when it's towards the cable snooping? Because I'm familiar with the Wi-Fi and satellite and how hackers get information and all that. However, the cable snooping, which you mentioned, it kind of raised my flag because I'm not familiar with that. How in that terminology wise, can you make sure and assist the community who are going to be using it are protected?
That's a really, really good question. Thank you. So the industry that we work in is we do deal with data, and we do appreciate that it can be very, very sensitive. The facilities that we own and operate are highly secured. So nobody can get into the facilities unless they go through our security process, not to say whether it's here or elsewhere. The information that's transmitted on the fibers themselves, the fibers are little pieces of glass about the thickness of your hair, is actually just lights flashing on and off. And unless you can actually break into the cable and connect the equipment that we have in the stations themselves to that piece of cable, you will not know what's going on through the cable. So it's just purely by the nature of the information, how the information is being transmitted as flashes of light down the cables that keeps it secure at each end. If it's really secure, what we can actually do, that information can be doubly encrypted at the site where the information gets put into the cable as well. So it just purely by its nature, it's a flashing light, and it's a rate of a flashing light. There's no ones or zeros or anything being transmitted. Okay. It's a good question.
Thank you. Okay. So at this time, we're going to be working alongside with you with the future progress with the Department of Planning and Permitting.
That's right, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
And so you're welcome to continue to update us. Right now, our Land and Water Committee is restructuring with the replacement of our board members. And so if there's any future communications, you can please send it to me, and I'll relay that directly to our board members. And if there's any changes along the way with the permitting process, please keep us updated.
I will. Thank you. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you so much for your patience, everyone. We did have a full agenda this evening, and we are in recess next month. So hence why we needed to push forward the presentations. And we're going to go on to resident and community concerns. And following that, we're going to take our agenda out of order with whomever's present first. Thank you so much. Please state your name and your concern. There will be no board responses to any of the community concerns, but we will refer you to the correct committee to address the concern.
Aloha. I wasn't going to do this, but God told me to do it. So my biggest concern is, first of all, my name is Rafaela Leeboy/Lewis. I grew up in Māʻili. I graduated from Nānākuli High School in 1976. We will be 50 years out of high school this year. My biggest concern here is, as Uncle said, this is Nānākuli Homestead, yeah? My husband's family has been on Homestead since 1930. Charles Kalima Lewis and Charles Kaliimana Lewis Sr. and Lucy Kalima, Fort Road since 1930. My husband inherited part of the area, okay? My concern is that I have children who are very committed to this community, who are very involved in the community. Football, JV, varsity, basketball, flag football, and a daughter who was working for our community and doing a lot of things for our community. As she told me where she was going to be, I wanted to cry, okay? I wanted to approach people to share. I thank you, board, for being here. I think the last time I was here was when I moved back to Nānākuli. My husband retired from the Navy. We moved back home 1996. My children have been very involved as we have been behind them as their parents and as alumni. But what I don't understand is how can Nānākuli High School get away with the things that they did for our community? As you know, I was on the PTA board as well, just to help out, just to make the school better for my mo'opunas. I have 10 mo'opunas. 5 graduated from Nānākuli, 2 will not. That makes me hurt that I don't want to say I'm an alumni for Nānākuli anymore because of the things that was done wrong and is still being done. So I always tell my children, you got to speak. You got to say the truth so that somebody go and check the school out. So what my question is right now is, who's out there checking out Nānākuli High School? Checking out to make sure that our kids are getting the education that they need, that our kids are getting the scholarships, or whatever it needs to be done for them to help them, number one, get out of the community. My children have trained kids, not charged them, in my house. I've had many children in my yard that they've trained. Why? Because they want to keep them off the road. They don't want them doing drugs. They want to continue to have our children move forward. I thank God my children are where they're at, and my grandchildren are where they're at. Now I got to pray for my great-grandchildren that I have, right? But who's to say they're going to live in this community anymore if we're not going to be taken care of academically first? First of all is academics. That school, really, somebody needs to check it out. And you all know where I'm coming from. I'm not going to say anything more except, please, somebody get up to that high school and check out their admin, check out their staff, make sure they're doing things right for our children and for our community. Because I've been up there with my children. We help. They volunteer. We're behind them, helping them. They hold signs. We're behind them, holding signs. Because why? This is where we grew up. This is the school that I graduated, my husband graduated, and all our families. So with this gentleman here, he should actually go up to the high school and have a football field built, brand new football field. You know, give back to the community where it's needed. Up at the high school, guys, so please help us. Mahalo for your time.
Thank you.
Gary Shinsato. I just want to do two couple of things, comments. First, I think we should get a representative from Hawaiian Electric out, put a B online. At the end of March, the whole coastline lost power for maybe about 45 minutes. Afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know if you guys remember that. But I also noticed that the corridor from Lualua Road to Nānākuli Avenue, you guys been losing power a lot. Okay, more than the guys in Māʻili, more than the guys in Waianae, as well as Makaha. And we got to find out what's the problem, because the governor's administration, they're building a lot of new housing, affordable housing. I understand the problem, but with all those new houses on the Everplains, can our resources handle all these new units? Not only electricity, which I don't think can handle, water and sewage. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, the second thing is the landfill. Go back to the original 2012 report, okay? The number one place to put the landfill, Kapaa Quarry, okay? Because at the time, Ikaka Anderson was the chairman of the city council, and that's his district. He said, well, wait, stop. Do another study. The original study, there was 3 sites on this coastline. Wasn't even in the top 5. When they redid the study, the 3 sites that was inside our district jumped inside of the top 5. I cannot figure that out. But take a look at the report.
Thank you.
The landfill, this is number 4 landfill. We have Waianae, PVT, Waimanalo. Now this new one is coming up. 4. No place else got it on this whole island except West Side, the biggest Hawaiian homestead that we have over here. Huh? This is a big disparity, isn't it? But I came up again. We need to focus on the 2014 flood mitigation study with the DLNR. It's imperative because that's the people who did this study that's now impacting the West Side over here. Now, it's the way I look at it, it's an entrapment to having landowners now to acquire flood insurance. Entrapment. Does the governor's emergency proclamations going to give scripts to assist those individuals who's living on a fixed income? Because now the movement of the flood area zoning now, it's crawling larger. Okay? So DLNR has to answer these questions, come before the neighborhood board and face the consequences because they just left it alone. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aloha, Kalisaucero. You know the new landfill where they're talking about? That's agriculture land. Okay, that's agriculture land. Originally, when I went to the Makakilo board, they said that James Campbell said it's for view housing. Majority of the housing he was talking about is for Hawaiian homesteaders. Okay, because he got tired seeing them on the back burners. They are dying before they can get there. I know. So now here they come inside, false promises again. You know, say we're going to take it out of the 96792. Hello, 96792, that is still the Lyric Coast. That's our coast. So you guys got to remember that. So if you're going to sit down like lame ducks, nothing's going to happen. Okay, that's one of the things that we need to know and be focused on. The other thing, the breach of the cable, underwater cable, was 2022. Okay, Homeland Security stepped in to block that breach. They know it was China and they know it was Korea. But $5 million taxpayers' money went into that with Governor Green. So how much are our community are willing for our privacy and personal information that going through that cable? Because that cable was made to make a connection to the mainland, to Hawaii, but not thinking it was a danger because all our personal information is on that. They can tap into anything. The other thing, that new landfill, the landfill right now, Wamanalo landfill, a lot of people do not talk about it. I raised over there. I lived in the last house. There was that up and down yellow house that was knocked down. Up there, this unit had been told, but it's going to be told now. There is hay owls out there, our ancestors. How I know? We used to clean them up and take care of it. Why didn't the city come and tell us that? Because why? They want to silence us. But now you need to know, that's my ancestors. That's Pilau. And you're going to do Pilau, we need to stand up to protect them. They're not for sale. They're not to be removed to the mainland and dug out. Enough is enough. They cannot even maintain their own facilities that all over the island. Hearts, what you name it, we're a mess.
Thank you.
Mahalo.
Good evening, everybody. I guess I just wanted to piggyback off of what Auntie said. You guys see me every month talking about the high school up the valley. But I'm hoping because I know you're restructuring because of the vacancy, part of the education committee. I'm hoping that maybe somewhere along there, administration can report to the education committee of some of their statistics because the math is not mathing. A lot of the stuff that they report is not coming out correctly. And the fact that I'm dumbfounded, to be honest, about how the principal won a national award taking credit for what Kawi has done as part of her, according to Kaz, you know, I'm hoping this is a start. And I've tried to report things. Luckily for me, I don't work for the DOE, but I do have a target on my head because they want me out. And I did file a grievance or an appeal because, again, they're trying to get me out. And I did take it to the CAS as proper protocol, and the CAS told me I have insufficient amount of evidence, although I have recordings on my phone of interactions during our meetings. So I'm hoping you folks step in as a neighborhood board because the children are our future. And it's kind of sad that only 9% are passing when more than 60-something% are absent. But yet, apparently, we have all these great numbers, which, again, math isn't mathing. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hi, Kalia Simpson. Again, I'd like to bring this may be my last time here at this board, so I wanted to make sure I can get my last chance in to get advocates for Nānākuli High and Intermediate School. Honestly, all the schools on our west side, but specifically at Nānākuli High, very true accuracy. Retaliation definitely happens at the high school, and it needs to stop because it's retaliation against those who are speaking up on behalf of our students and our families. I will continue to be an advocate. I really need somebody here, people here to speak up. There's things that families don't know. I work there. And unfortunately, as it was stated, God allowed me to do a lot of things up there. And for a principal to get an award and get acknowledged for things that she had no clue was even happening on her campus and had no hands to the plow. I'm gonna give credit where credit was due. My family did that stuff. All last summer. Go and read about this award that she got. On that award, the things she got credit for, I did with a broken ankle, and I'm not one to acknowledge myself. Broken ankle and my entire family for the whole summer. So go and check stuff out. Parents, share it. Parents need to start asking. Don't take what you guys are hearing. The awards are just cover-ups. And I'm not somebody who's going to attack people. But when things are wrong, we got to make it right. And loyalty cannot be loyal to the wrong. Got to be loyal to the right. And our concern has to be our children. They are our future leaders. And if we have no one standing up for them, we have a whole board here. We have people here that you can go and share. We need people to stand up for our families, our students, and they need help up there. Questions need to be asked. There's a lot of things going on. If you want to meet with me on the side, because I'm not about exposing, I'll share with you some of the stuff. Secondly, there's some organizations on our side that really need to be checked. They claim to be for our people and they're not. So I really, as you guys support organizations, don't take just because they're out in the public, that they're for the community. You guys got to do your research. And if you guys know God, use that discernment and let that discernment tell you what is right and what is wrong and help the right. Remember, our kids are the future leaders. Let's help them out.
We have Kapua online.
Aloha, o wau kapua. No ka aina ho o pula pula, ka abawa wainai mai au. Mahalo for letting me share. I want to thank those wahine that speak to the DOE. about the DOE and the things that are happening, because they're right. We do need exposure. We do need participation and support. My girls were privileged to attend Kulakaya Puni o Nānākuli 10, 15 years ago. So it has been a while since we've been actively engaged in the Nānākuli area. But I primarily wanted to speak to the county's plans for the next landfill. While it's not in our MOKU or zip code specifically, it is on our coast, as has been stated. So I hope that many of us can attend or submit testimony to tomorrow's neighborhood board and to continue to support our councilwoman, who I'd like to commend for trying to do a whole lot for the one person that she is, not only for our community, but for the Eva Beach community as well that she extends out to. So mahalo nui, Andrea. So we need to stay on it because we have been opposing this landfill and there are solutions. Plasma arc maybe was not the best solution. Apparently they've found reasons for not doing that, but like Andrea has said, she's gone to places where they have eliminated the need for a landfill. And I think we know that the reason that the county keeps it open is because of the tipping fees that they continue to make out of it. Perhaps it's one of their revenue versus cost factors, but whatever the reason is, we need to start the plans for the resolution. And for me, every MOKU should have their own landfill. The reason that they continue to want to put it out here on the west side, on the leeward coast, is because we have a lot of undeveloped land. So what they need to do is to make smaller areas, even if it's only for one particular type of opala, like asphalt or asbestos, CSW. They don't have to put everything in the one place because they continue to say, let's centralize like that. That continues to be out here on the west side.
Thank you.
So mahalo nui, babe. Aloha.
Thank you. Last question, this community concern this evening.
Aloha, my name is Kanoi Fuata. I didn't have a concern earlier, but I think now hearing, so I am originally from Pili'okahi, the Carolina homestead. I am a graduate of Nānākuli High School, class of 1993. I have no college education, but I am the general manager of a company today. And so when I sit there and I listen to what's happening in the high school, I have a son that's there, and my son is a special needs son. He has an IEP, and currently this is his first year. And I will say, although this is my hometown, I have had concerns about putting him in Nānākuli High School, but I was strongly encouraged by family members and people in their career is in academics, to put him there because of the academies that are there. My son right now, with his IEP, is on the principal's list so far each time. So now I sit here worried. Are you saying that what my son is getting is not real? And are you asking them to prove that what's happening over there is not real? Because if that is the case, then I must be failing my son. So I ask you, is anyone aware of what they're sharing? That's my concern. I didn't have one up until this. So I am worried. I do want my son to be here. And he actually loves Nānākuli High School. He's in the Poly Club and he loves it. My son has struggled from preschool till now. And so I am asking, please tell me if my son is now in the right place.
Thank you. We'll take your question offline at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Okay. So moving on in our agenda, we're gonna take things out of order due to time. And so we do have a resolution on our board business. But I do want to be respectful to those who are present in person. And so if we can have the Army come up and give your report.
All right, aloha. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Ricky McCarthy. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Ricky MacArthur, representing U.S. Army Garrison, Hawaii. I'll just summarize it real quick to 2 points. One, on 18 May, we'll be holding a jobs fair at the Hilo Mano Military Reservation. Information can be found on www.himwr.com. And then just lastly, the prescribed burns that we briefed last month, due to the weather, they were moved to May. So there will be prescribed burns over in Schofield on May 11th through the 15th. If there are any questions, you can contact the Community Concern Line at 808-787-1528. And any questions?
Thank you. Any questions for the Army from the community? Any questions for the Army from the board? Make it quick, please. One question, Board Member Cowles.
I'm going to make it quick. I just wanted to say thank you for the military base for letting us use Nānākuli Pass as an emergency when we had all the heavy raining going on over here. That was a big deal for this side. I've been pushing. I was one of the ones pushing for open that up for a long time, but it was inhabitable at that time. And I went up there, like I said earlier, I drove up there, and it was pretty good. But I want to thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We'd like to work with you to help with the flood mitigation. I'll be in communication by email. Thank you so much. Okay. And we are gonna, with the motion, move our board business to pull up item G. Do I have a motion on the floor? Resolution supporting residents of Piliʻokahi Avenue. Motion made by Board Member Myers.
Second.
Seconded by Tector. Okay, the resolution will be read by Board Member Myers, and we will take a vote after. Thank you.
Thank you, members. Before I read the resolution, I want to ask, anyone in this room is a resident of Piliʻokahi? Please stand up. Please stand up. Mahalo for coming this evening and for you bringing your voices to the neighborhood board many times now to try to get this solutions to stop the changing of the name. So I'm going to read the resolution and then we're going to take a vote as a board. Mahalo for standing up. Relating to the proposed change of Piliʻokahi Avenue to Piliʻokahe, like Kahe Park, Kahe Avenue, and affirming support for the original name and community intent, the Pilina. Whereas the Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board number 36 board serves as an advisory body on matters affecting the Waianae Coast community, and whereas the board is committed to protecting the stability, identity, and cultural integrity of its residents, including beneficiaries of the Department of Hawaiian Homelands, and whereas a proposal has been raised to change the name of Piliʻokahi Avenue, located within Nānākuli Hawaiian Homestead lands, to Piliʻokahe Avenue, based on claims that the latter reflects a geographic and historical boundary associated with the neighboring area of Kahe. And whereas Nānākuli shares a regional boundary with Kahe Point, and some individuals have asserted that the name Piliʻokahe Kahe is intended to reflect that boundary, and whereas similar proposals to change the name of Piliʻokahi Avenue have been raised in prior years by individuals citing historical or academic interpretations, and were not advanced due to lack of broad support from the affected residents, as those of you who stood up. And whereas beneficiaries and residents of Nānākuli Hawaiian homestead lands, including those residing on Pili'okahi Avenue, have expressed opposition to the proposed name change and have not been meaningfully consulted in this renewed effort. And whereas street naming within the city and county of Honolulu is not based solely on geographic boundaries, but may reflect cultural meaning, thematic naming, planning intent, and community identity. And whereas historical understanding from DHHL land development planning indicates that the name Pili'okahi was intentionally selected to mean to weave into one, symbolizing the connection of Native Hawaiian homestead lands and families, Makai and Mauka of Farrington Highway. And whereas Pili'okahi Avenue functions as both a physical and symbolic connector between these communities, aligning with the cultural meaning and purposes of its name. And whereas the name Pili'okahi Avenue is embedded in Hawaiian Homes Commission approved residential leases, forming part of the legal, historical, and lived identity of the families who reside there. And whereas changing the name to Pili'okahi Avenue would create administrative and logistical burdens while also disregarding the established intent, meaning, and community connection, Pelina, reflected in the current name. And whereas the board recognizes, I'm almost done, because I'm right there to, therefore, the last whereas, the board recognizes the importance of grounding decisions in both cultural understanding and the voices of directly affected Native Hawaiian residents, particularly within Hawaiian homestead lands. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board number 36 hereby opposes the proposed change of Pili'okahi Avenue to Pili'okahi Avenue, and be it further resolved that the board affirms the support for the original name Pili'okahi, recognizing its meaning to weave into one as intentional, cultural, grounded, and reflected of the connection between Makai and Mauka homestead lands and families, and be it therefore resolved that the board supports the beneficiaries and families residing on Pili'okahi Avenue, acknowledging their opposition to the proposed change and their vested interests as leaseholders within the Hawaiian Homes program. And be it therefore resolved that the board urges all elected officials and agencies, including the Department of Hawaiian Homelands of the City and County of Honolulu, for one, prioritize direct consultation with affected beneficiaries and residents before advancing any proposal. Two, ensure that any proposal name change is supported by clear evidence, cultural grounding, and consensus of affected Native Hawaiian residents. And three, avoid repeated reconsideration of proposals that have previously lacked support unless initiated by the affected Native Hawaiian residents themselves. Be it finally resolved that we share this with the elected officials. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for formulating that with the Committee on Transportation and with our residents. So we are gonna extend our meeting to 10:05. Do I have a motion to extend our meeting to 10:05 so we can complete this?
Second.
Motion,
Yeah.
Dela Cruz. Second, Ayo. Thank you. So we'll go ahead and take a vote. A motion to support the resolution.
Chair, I move that the Nānākuli-Māʻili Neighborhood Board supports the resolution for the Pili Okahe Avenue as I spoke about earlier.
Seconded by Dela Cruz. All those in favor of the resolution, say aye. All those opposed, say nay. Any abstentions? Motion carries. This resolution will be sent to the City and County of Honolulu with the request that the sign be adjusted. Thank you so much for coming in person and staying through the evening. So we're going to go ahead and table all other items, but I do have two members online who are representing with the Board of Water Supply. I'll give you 1 minute each if you're okay with that. Board of Water Supply and Congresswoman Jill Tokuda, no questions will be taken. Thank you.
Chair, I stand on my report that should have been disseminated. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you for staying online, and we are with you in support in your community, Wailua. Thank you. Talua Samiifua with Congresswoman Jill Tokuda's office.
Good evening, Chair and Board and community members. I guess I just want to apologize for not having the written responses from last month's meeting in writing to you all. I underestimated the length of the time that the meeting would go on. So I will share those answers that we do have in writing with Chair Augustin, and just wanted to follow up. I guess the most important thing, or well, not most important, but we have sent in a request for information regarding the drainage project with regarding Pa'akea Road. And we've been bounced around, unfortunately, but we've heard from, what's his name? The Admiral there, that they may have a solution, but they don't have anything in writing or concrete for us yet. So we are pushing for what those conversations were, you know, prior to Representative Tokuda's time and the last time those conversations were had. So we are actively pushing for that, and I'm hoping in June at the next meeting that we'll have concrete answers. If not before then, I will be sure to share them with Chair Augustin to get that out to the board. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We appreciate you staying longer. Okay, all other items on our agenda will be tabled to June as we resume. I do want to go through announcements. Wednesday, April 29th, 1 to 3 p.m. Waianae Readiness Review Kickoff Meeting at the University of Hawaii Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam, the City and County Resilience Office, and stakeholders in the Waianae Planning District. This is going to be at the Kaiaulu Community Learning Center in Maʻili. Thursday, May 7th, 4 to 8 p.m. Lay of Literacy event here at Nānākuli Hawaii State Public Library. Board is in recess for the month of May, and Nānākuli High and Intermediate Schools graduation ceremony will take place on Saturday, May 23rd, 2026. Our next regular board meeting is Tuesday, June 16th, 2026, 7 p.m. at the Nānākuli Public Library and virtually via WebEx. Mahalo nui for everyone staying this evening. Have a great night. Get home safe. Aloha. Meeting adjourned.